And we are live.
I was just looking for the live thing. I was like, where is it?
I had it on private at first, just in case we were ready.
Yeah. You could have left it on private till 7.
Oh, that's all right. 5 minutes early.
Mommy's tired.
Oh, I'm not very hungry right now, so.
Mommy, stop it.
See if Jason makes his way in.
Ew, yuck. Don't pick my nose. Ow, no. No. Harley,
Just a second.
stop it.
Hey, you two hush.
She started it. Shut up. Don't tell me to shut up.
And seriously, if you guys are going to do that, go out there.
Don't tell Dad. I'm not trying to start anything loud.
I'm trying to get the chat pulled up, Joe.
Okay.
Joe.
Hey, Death Central, how you doing?
What's up, buddy? What up, Death?
Hopefully Jason can get on.
Yeah, he should be able to. He told me he was eating dinner before we started.
All right.
All you have to do is click the link you put there. You can do it that way or send it to our emails, but
Yeah, I figured it was just easy to put it in the group chat.
yeah, that's one of the reasons I made it. Oh. Still not showing the face yet, huh?
Oh, it's not time yet.
I'm telling you, you gotta get like a banner or something, you know, and then string it between two poles and just put your body, you know, like behind, and just sit behind it with your face behind it.
That'd be perfect.
So you could talk to with the camera and the banner, you know.
Put like a blur effect on my face.
There you go. Till you move, and then it doesn't move with you.
So hopefully your day gets better. You said you didn't have a good day today?
Yeah, it was a shit day, but that's okay.
Well, hopefully this helps. Should be pretty fun.
It definitely should help. I've really been looking forward to this.
Me too.
I need it. I need it like crack.
I was exhausted. I had such a busy week at work. I literally fell asleep on the couch earlier, and I never, ever fall asleep during the day.
Yeah, it's very rare for me too. I got to be really tired.
Me too. I got home from work, and I was just watching some TV, and I just fell asleep. I didn't even realize it. But now I'm nice and wired and ready to go. So
yeah, my freaking last 2 days, especially too, my ankle's been killing me. It won't pop.
Mm.
And then, can you see me, Joe?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I just did the bank run, and I had to stop and get gas. I want to see a couple pickups I found, or should I wait for Jason?
Well, it's up to you. Shall we show him again?
I found a couple pickups yesterday while I was on my lunch break.
Nice.
I stopped by a secondhand store. They're opening up a new secondhand store right down the road from my work.
Awesome.
So.
Yeah, I still have to post an update. I've gotten so many things over the last couple of weeks, but I haven't posted an update at all. So by the time I post, it's going to be like a huge update.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I keep forgetting. You call them updates, I call them finds.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, man, that day that I went back the other day, That other VHS update I put, or that Prime video I put a few days ago.
Yeah.
Because I went back to the Bethel that had those 2 giant boxes,
Hmm.
and I just sat there for like an hour going through them.
Yeah, I love that.
And I found like a bunch more stuff. They had lots of other ones that I would probably get if I was collecting other stuff too right now, you know.
Exactly.
But for me to buy a video that's not horror, it's got to be like something really special. Like, and this one I'm going to show you is one of those.
I'm sort of the same way with that.
I mean, I was thinking about it too. I'd like to start eventually get all the James Bonds, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm a big James Bond fan, but I see those all the time when I go. I see different James Bond ones all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not, you know, dying to buy those yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So right now, and I'm collecting horror, but I've actually ran out of room already. I got to get another shelf or something. I've got.
Me too.
I removed all my graphic novels off the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
So now my graphic novels and my game magazine, like my game walkthrough books.
Yep.
And then all my other big books and stuff that I had on the shelves, they're all off the shelves, stacked up on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And there's VHSs and DVDs now. And the VHSs you can't even see because there's so many DVDs and Blu-rays stacked in front of them.
Yeah, like I was saying, I got separate rooms now. I got the DVDs and Blu-rays in one, actually in my basement in one room, and then I have the VHS upstairs now. And I have all my Stephen King books stacked on the floor.
You know, it's funny. You don't see a lot of basements in New Mexico. And it's a weird. My grandparents had one, but my grandfather was from West Virginia, and he built his house kind of like in that style.
Yeah.
You know, when he lived out here.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't see a lot of basements here unless it's one of those newer like what do you call them, like subdivision homes or whatever.
Yeah, I mean my basement is sort of like it's pretty much finished. There's one room that's not really finished, but the rest of it's basically like a second floor.
And the majority of homes out here are manufactured homes. Even the nice ones, even like my house is a decent house, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a manufactured house.
Yeah.
It was built in a factory. It's not. I don't like when people call them mobile homes or double wides because mine's not a double wide. You know, it was built in a factory and then placed here.
Interesting.
And then it was built onto. So like the room I'm in now, which is my man cave room, it was built onto this house.
Oh, I gotcha.
So that's why it's kind of different than the rest of the rooms. And they built it for one of their kids to have a bedroom in, I guess, and. You know, but
thanks for
everybody in the chat. Hey Venom, hello Kyle Sweeney, Renee Dune, and Death Central. But yeah, I mean, like, but that is a lot of your houses out here that aren't like, especially in the city limits, are like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just because I don't know if it's because they're more economical or what, but it's just the way it is out here. But like this, I have a 4-bedroom house with this added room. It was a 3-bedroom before.
Mm-hmm.
But with both my girls, I gave them each their own room. So they get their own rooms and I get a room, and you know, I don't have any other rooms to put shit in. I got the living room, but I got 3 DVD shelves in the living room that are completely filled. And that's not enough. I got to buy more.
Space is always an issue.
Yeah.
It's like that, you know, I get it looking nice, and then obviously you get some more stuff, and then it just doesn't fit again.
Well, I also have I'm actually going to be working on something maybe later this summer.
Mm-hmm.
I have a detached garage. I have like a standalone garage.
Nice.
And it's got electricity to it, and it's got a cement floor and everything. And I'm thinking about building a little studio out there.
Very
like cool. In in one corner.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe put some more movies and stuff out there, but I don't know yet. I don't know if I want to put movies out there. I've been because then I would have to go out and get one every time I wanted to watch it in here.
Exactly.
I don't know if I want to do that. I'm still regretting putting all my horror movies and stuff into books.
And I'm already feeling that way about my VHS being upstairs, because when I'm down here, I have to go upstairs to get whatever one I want, or even to film a video.
Right. So you do your videos in the basement?
Yeah, usually. I might start doing some videos upstairs in that VHS room now, just because it'll be easier.
Yeah.
But for the time being, I've been doing everything downstairs. It's just quieter.
Right.
You know, with my wife home and my son home and
Right.
the cats and everything else, it's just easier.
Yeah, I do most of mine here in my man cave, but I try to switch it up once in a while.
Yeah.
And then, like, at summertime, I like to do videos outdoors, when I do grilling or whatever. I don't know
Exactly.
why, but I find that to be a lot of fun. You know, grilling and talking on the video.
Yeah, definitely.
So, hello, Movie Music Mania. So,
Face reveal, not yet. So everybody in the chat, once Jason gets on here, I do have a few topics that we'll discuss, and we'll definitely ask for your input. But for now, you know, just hang out and have a good time. Hope everybody
definitely.
flashback Saturday.
I'm ready. I had mine filmed on Sunday.
Nice. I filmed mine last night. It's all set and ready to upload.
Did you ever figure out which one I'm doing by the hint I gave?
Oh, I know which one you're doing.
You know which one I'm doing?
Yeah.
I liked it, man. I was reading like the reviews and stuff on it from critics of the day and even modern critics.
Mm-hmm.
And it kills me. The critics of the day didn't like it because they weren't into those kind of movies.
Yeah.
And then the critics of today say things like, oh, well, the special effects, this and that, and the gore and all looks. It was 1963.
I know. It's pretty fun.
What do you expect?
I watched it on. Last time I watched it was when Joe Bob did The Last Drive-In when he first came back.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the movies in that marathon.
Yeah, I watched it on Shudder. Joe Bob's on there. I know you were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Shudder. I enjoy it. I like Shudder. It helps me watch things that I don't have in my collection that I want to get. You know?
Yeah, I loved it. I had the free trials for the first two Joe Bob marathons, but I don't have it right now.
Hello, dear. My wife's in the chat. Hey, Jack.
So just waiting for Jason now. He just messaged in the group here.
Yeah, I just saw that. I just switched around. I don't know if he realized that you put the link up there.
Well, we'll find out momentarily.
I just put in the links above, bro.
Yeah. Jack wants to know what we think of the Critters show.
I'm not a fan of Critters, honestly.
I've never been a huge fan myself. I mean, I like them, but it seems to have a lot of fans, and you know, I don't love them.
I have the 4-pack, but I've only seen the first movie.
I was always more of like a Gremlins person, you know. It's kind of like Addams Family or Munsters, Gremlins or Critters.
Right. Yeah, I like Gremlins as well. But even Gremlins, though, I'm not a fanatic about it like some people
me
are.
neither. Me neither.
You know, and I've never considered either of them horror ever. Those are like kid movies. How are they horror movies? No. I mean, they're not scary. They're not gory. They're not bloody. And I'm also one of those people that thinks the second one's better than the first.
I like the second Gremlins better too.
I like that that Stripe talked in the second one. Jason says the link's not working. You want to send it to him again?
Yeah.
Or do you need his email?
I'm gonna send it to his email this time.
You got his email?
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder why. Maybe because I clicked on it? Do you think maybe it'll only let one person click on it? I don't know. I never really thought
I
about it.
don't know. It's weird. I just sent it through his email, so. What's wrong with your YouTube account, Danny? Do you know about this, Brad?
I'm not in the chat. I was looking at Messenger.
Oh,
I don't know. I'm not sure.
she's just having some issues with the YouTube account.
I haven't looked at her YouTube. Oh, here he comes.
There he is.
Trying to.
Don't tell me you're going faceless too, Jay.
No, I should be in there, am I?
There you are. There
The
you go.
faceless trio.
That would be a really weird live stream. Yeah, Jack, I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm just not a big fan of Critters. Somebody told me they watched it the other day and they didn't think it was very good.
Are we
But
live?
and they're big Critter fans. Yes, we're live already, brother.
Huh.
Yeah.
I never got a notification.
Yeah, well, I didn't either, but that's because I have the bell turned off. I go through my things to check for your guys' videos like once every few hours.
Mhm.
So, like when I'm at work or on lunch or whatever. So I turn the notifications off because every time I was getting them so much they were getting annoying.
Gotcha.
So
Notifications can be weird anyway. Sometimes I feel like I click on the bell and it still doesn't work. So.
well, what kills me is I don't get notifications on my comments.
Yeah. That's why.
What?
That's why I posted the 2 videos. You know, just kind of reminding people, just because I figured people aren't going to know unless I posted something about it.
Joe, you don't have the notifications for your videos turned off, do you?
No,
3 people said they didn't get the notification for it.
that's what I'm saying. I don't know why. It's weird. Danny just did the same thing. You don't know. Maybe it's just a YouTube issue right now.
Yeah, maybe. They've been having a lot of issues the last couple months.
Yeah.
So how you doing, Jay?
I'm all right once I figure this crap out.
Yeah. Well, I was waiting on you to come in to show you guys these real quick. Nothing special, just a couple pickups I found the other day at the secondhand store.
What'd you get?
Just wanted to show you guys, then so we can get on with everything else. Species on DVD. I don't
Very
have this
nice.
one. Bill has a really awesome box set of all the species. I didn't even know there was more than one.
I just I got the Blu-ray coming from me from Queenie Todd. Actually, I won one of her contests or giveaways last week in their live stream, and Species on Blu-ray is one of them.
That's awesome, dude. I had to get in and out of the. Yeah, I remember. I saw that she gave you one that. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
got
was
that.
going in and out of the chat.
Yeah, that the one of the Lost Boys sequels and Deathgasm. I won those 3.
Sweet.
One Deathgasm?
Yeah.
I haven't watched that yet. I want to. It's on Netflix.
Awesome movie.
Or no, it's on Shudder. It's on Shudder. The
Yeah, I
second
haven't
pickup
seen it.
I found was Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying I haven't seen Deathgasm, so I was definitely happy about that one.
The second pickup I saw is a fictional biopic of Hitchcock
Very good.
with
That's a
Anthony
very-
Hopkins.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really wanted to see that because I like Hitchcock. And this is the only VHS pickup, but it is a beautiful VHS, beautiful case, and it's one of my favorite movies of all time. The Great Escape
Good movie.
on this MGM Gold double box VHS.
Very nice.
It's just such perfect condition. I just couldn't resist it.
Awesome.
Yeah. The tapes even all look nice and shiny still. They got that silver logo. Yeah.
How's everybody doing in the chat tonight? Actually,
You got the.
actually monitoring tonight.
Oh, you are? Okay, cool.
I got you guys both as moderators too, so
Yeah, I saw that.
just in case.
And you're both moderators on mine.
You never know if we're gonna get trolled, but hey, bring it on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's happening, guys?
Just got home, brother. Tired, but feeling good. Had a bad day, but ready to get this going. I'm happy now.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, Jason, I was telling Brad, I'm someone I never nap. I never sleep during the day. I came home from work today. I fell asleep on the couch. I couldn't believe it.
Really?
But I'm nice and wired now, so it kind of worked out because now I'm ready for this.
Yeah, me too. I actually napped today too, with Frankie for a while.
I don't know what happened. I came home. I was watching TV, and my wife got home from work. She got home a little bit later than me, and I was asleep on the couch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I told everyone in the chat. I told Brad too. You know, we have some topics we can discuss in a bit. Figured let everybody kind of join us, and we'll go from there.
Sounds good.
Oh, we got 11 in right now. That's pretty decent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially since you didn't make the event early, did you, Joe?
No, I didn't. I said I was kind of planning on it earlier today, and then I fell asleep for a while and eating dinner and all that stuff. So I just posted that quick reminder video instead.
I've been there many times.
Well, you know me, I'm like the freaking king of the random live stream.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody's asleep. I'm bored. Live stream. No.
And I sign on the next day. I'm so upset that I missed it.
Yeah.
Triple Flicks, how you doing, buddy?
What up, Triple Flicks? Which Triple Flicks member is it? There's like 6 of them. No.
Yeah, 3B had a chat on today.
Mm-hmm.
A live stream earlier, and I was on that one for a while.
Me too.
You were on that one too?
Yeah, at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
It was that was before my day turned to shit at work, and it was real slow, and so I had it really low, and I just had it on, and I made a couple comments.
Yeah.
And then but then I had to get busy. I got busy at work, so then the day went to shit.
That's how I found out that Joe Bob Briggs has a marathon on tonight. So.
It's his show starting actually. That's what it is. Yeah, he's gonna have a weekly show, or weekly or monthly, and this is like the first episode basically.
Yeah,
cool.
So it's gonna be like Monster Vision. It's been a double feature. No one really knew what movies he's showing, so if anybody out there right now has it on, what is he watching? Because I want to find out.
I could turn it on. I have to switch my thing around, but I can turn it on.
I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be everywhere, soon.
The only thing, I've actually been thinking about moving my Xbox One into my man cave. It's in the living room. I've been thinking about moving it in here because I can get Shudder on my Xbox One, but not on my 360.
Really?
Yeah, it's not available on 360. What up, Sean?
Hey, Sean.
They have like a free trial.
Yeah.
Which I've never done. I've never done the free trial of Shudder, but
that's what I did for the first 2 Joe Bob marathons, the free trial.
I was going to, but he pretty much shut the internet down.
Oh, that first
one. Bloody Workday Massacre is the new title.
Yeah, that first Joe Bob marathon when he first came back, that was pretty incredible. It was amazing how it really did break the internet.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Triple Flicks just mentioned the Blood Lake DVD release that's coming soon.
Yep.
Yep.
You remember I told you that I found Blood Lake on Hamilton Books, right, for $3.95?
Yep.
Well, I ordered it, right? It's gone now, and they told me that it's put on hold for pre-order, so I'm not getting my copy yet.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, "Why are you getting it so early?"
So, but still, I'm getting it for $3.95.
That's awesome.
What's wrong with that?
I mean, but that I was like, well, okay. I emailed him. I was like, okay, so am I getting Is it being put on hold, or are you going to refund my money? They haven't refunded or told me anything.
Huh. Yeah, that must have been somebody's mistake.
Well, anyway, Triple Flicks Mafia. I love Blood Lake. It's so cheesy. It's shot on video. I mean, you got to know what to expect when you're watching it, but I think it's a blast.
Yeah, I like it too. It's silly. It's low budget, and it's kind of goofy in parts, but
it's goofy and silly, but at the same time, there's some genuinely funny scenes. Like, it's not like that over the top, like this is ridiculous kind of cheese. Like, I actually laugh in a few scenes. It's well done, I think.
Yeah, especially between the brothers.
I've never seen it. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said,
I have seen it. I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to expect like Halloween or Friday the 13th, quality, but for a shot on video slasher, it's a lot of fun.
Right.
Well, it's funny, man, how many of those VHS titles that we don't have right now or we don't watch anymore, that I'll be like, no, I've never seen that movie, and then I'll be watching, I'll be like, wait a minute, I have seen this.
Exactly.
Like, I remember watching this on like, USA or Skinamax or something like 20 years ago.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome, Jack. Jack already got the Superstition Blu-ray from Scream Factory.
Nice.
Yeah, I saw his review for it.
Joe, one of the movies that I ordered from Hamilton Book, which I should have stopped on my mailbox on the way home to see if they're here, but I didn't. I should have. But I bought that Scream Factory TCM4 Blu-ray.
Oh, nice.
I had to, bro. After you did your thing and you talked about how it had that alternate cut.
Yeah.
I've never seen that. I had when I saw it on there, and it was only like $18.
The alternate cut was released on DVD. It was the Canadian release, which I have of the DVD. It was from Lionsgate.
Really?
Yeah, and it was one of those odd cases where it sort of looks like the other release, so sometimes people own it and don't even realize it.
Right. Probably didn't even know it, huh?
Yeah, you kind of don't know until you watch it. It's sort of like the director's cut of Scream on VHS. Like, you really don't know until you put the disc in.
Which I'm still looking for, by the way.
Really?
Can anybody tell me why Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4 gets such a bad rap?
And that's what I'm saying. I mean,
it's a bad movie. I mean, come on, it is a bad movie, but it's one of those bad movies that can be so bad it's good.
Yeah, but it's a bad movie, but it's one of those movies that gets so much hate. Like people literally talk about it being like one of the worst horror movies ever. And I just think it's so far from being one of the worst.
I think a lot of it is the portrayal of Leatherface. Like, I know that in the original he wore high heels and did some things like that.
Yeah.
But like in the fourth one, they really go all out with that. And I think that bothered people.
Yeah, and it's funny because I hadn't seen it in a long time, and I remembered it being worse though, like that aspect of the film. For some reason I remember him being so much more feminine. And when I watched it this time around, I was like, not as bad as I remember. Like, it was more than the original film, but I don't know. I think I was expecting it to be so much worse just based on everyone's opinion over the years.
Right.
Yeah.
And then also, like, Renee Zellweger's not great in it.
She's okay.
And she's okay, but she's not like, it's not like her, go-to role that people talk about,
Yeah, but Matthew McConaughey was fantastic.
Well, and see, a lot of people that are like critical of it think that he was just a big idiot in the movie.
I
thought he was great.
I thought he was great too. I think that was like a role meant for him.
But I will say this: I cut this out of my last video. I did actually talk about it in the video, and then I cut it out because I didn't know if I really made sense or not. Like a lot of my friends have asked me, including Hellhound asked me the other day. We were chatting, and he's like, how can you hate part 2 so much, but you like 4? And honestly, it's kind of like the Freddy's dead syndrome. Think of it like that. Like, Freddy didn't start out with Nightmare on Elm Street and then Freddy's dead.
Right.
You know what I mean? It didn't like flip mode that quick. It was a gradual kind of thing. You know what I mean? With TCM, it was completely flip mode, 100% right away. And that did turn me off to the movie. It really does. It still does.
And see, that's what's interesting to me, because even though I do really like TCM 2 as well, like after watching 4 after all these years, that's what made me wonder how TCM2 has so many more fans than Part 4. And it's not to say that the next generation is better than TCM2, but at the same time, the way people talk about the films, TCM2 has people who love that film, yet those same people tend to hate Part 4 when it's, in my opinion, probably better and more fitting to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like, at least it has more horror elements. I feel like the second one is just, like you said, it's so different from the original, whereas the next generation is sort of a hybrid. It's sort of like it takes some of that silliness from Part 2, but also some of the horror elements back. So I just don't see how people can absolutely hate the next generation but love TCM2.
Right.
I think actually TCM4 was pretty much a straight slasher film.
Exactly.
Compared to some of the other ones.
It is. It's like a stalk and slash. There's like some scenes like in like these atmospheric woods with the mist and Renee Zellweger, basically being watched and stalked. And there's definitely a lot more horror in the next generation.
Right.
Well, my problem with TCM2, I love the film now, I do, but when I first saw it, I hated it because when I was younger, and I've talked about this before, when I was younger, I hated horror comedies. I just could not stand them. And it got to me. So I kind of put it away. And then years later, I took it out and rewatched it when I was a little bit more accepting of different styles of horror, and actually fell in love with it. So, but yeah, I was never too much on horror comedies.
And see, I'm very weird like that. I'm not usually like, it does happen. There are movies that I used to really not like and now I like.
Mm-hmm.
Like no, I still can't stand that one. Like sorry, John, we're trying to communicate. We're trying to communicate with the viewers. We're just talking about something at the moment.
Hey, John.
What the hell was I just talking about?
You're talking about movies that
oh yeah, I
usually hate or used to like you to end up hating again.
I mean, it does happen, but it's usually not with movies that I hated. You know what I mean? It's usually with movies that I just didn't like very much. Like Friday the 13th Part 8. I never hated that movie. I just didn't like it very much. Same thing with Part 5. But now I actually like them a lot more.
Exactly.
But if I kind of discover I hate a movie, it pretty much stays that way.
Like Halloween 3?
Yeah. Like Halloween 3. That movie blows dog chunks for breakfast.
No. It's a brilliant idea.
No, it's not. It's a stupid idea.
All right, so maybe getting into the first topic I had planned here. The whole kind of like the point of the stream is I wanted to touch upon a topic that I sort of discussed a while back on my channel, and it goes along with the Slashback challenge. And the simple question, sort of the foundation of this, is what makes a slasher film a slasher film? So I thought maybe we could all talk about that, ask the chat what they think. What are your guidelines? What do you consider a slasher film to be? Like, what makes something a slasher film, but then something that's similar, not a slasher film?
Right.
Right.
So
I guess break the ice here.
Yeah. And again, anyone in the chat, please feel free to chime in as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What's the last thing you guys got in the chat? I think mine might have froze.
It was Danny.
Okay, then never mind. All right.
Some people may have a problem with my pick this week, and I'm going to go ahead and give it away now. I know I usually wait until 12, but my pick this week was Bloody New Year.
Okay.
And while it has just about everything in the kitchen sink in the film, it does have some slasher elements to it. Although I don't think they're as strong as a lot of the other slasher films that we normally do from week to week. So I was going to do it, then I wasn't, then I decided to, then I wasn't. So after fighting with myself for a while, I decided to finally go ahead and do it. And yeah, I was pretty happy with how it turned out. And I do think it's a slasher film in some respects.
Definitely.
I can't speak on if it is or not. I haven't seen it.
So what is it for you specifically that makes a slasher a slasher?
Me?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. When I was younger, I always thought that somebody had to have a knife or a pitchfork or an axe or some kind of a cutting tool of some kind.
Okay.
Now I don't really feel that way. One of the movies that I did recently for your Slashback was The Drownsman. That actually has no knives, no axes or any kind of cutting tools, but I very much consider it a slasher because of the way he stalks and kills the girls. So
yeah, I mean that'd be like someone like a killer going around just strangling victims, you know? I mean, would that mean it's not a slash? Like if Michael Myers only strangled people, like he strangles Annie in the car. Like what if he didn't stab her? What if he just strangled the dog and strangled Annie and then, you know, strangled Linda? I mean, he does a lot more strangling than he does stabbing, I think, to be honest.
Ooh, that's a good question, Jay.
So does, if you ever noticed, I think it's in Friday the 13th part 4 or 7, either 4 or I think it's in 4 actually. Yeah, in 4, he uses his hands more than he uses anything else.
Exactly. So
Very true.
I wouldn't not consider it a slasher, you know, because of that. Of course, it's still a slasher. And so to answer your question, Jack, is the Wishmaster a slasher? I guess I would consider it a supernatural slasher.
That's what I put. Yeah.
Yep.
And it's a great movie. I love that movie. I know people shit on it, but okay, I'm not trying to sound like an elitist asshole, but I've always found Wes Craven's movies, no matter what they are, whether they are his, you know, most famous movies or his least famous movies, he has like this understanding of his audience that I don't think a lot of directors have. Like in Scream, he aimed that movie towards the teenagers of the 90s. And he understood their minds so well. That's why that movie did so well. You know, he really knows his audience. And I really feel like even though he's only presenting Wishmaster, you can see his influences on that film.
Yeah, I agree.
You know.
And I actually like all of those. I know a lot of people say the first 2 are good and the third and fourth one are crap, but I actually like them all. But
I don't have part 4. I've been trying to find a copy.
Okay, I'll send you one.
You got an extra?
I do.
Because I know they had it in like a dual pack.
Yeah.
And I have 1 and 2, but I don't have 3. I've seen 3. I don't have it, but I have 1 and 2. And I was looking for that dual pack with 4 in it because it's the only thing I could find it in. And I can't find it now.
I'll send you 3 and 4 then.
Oh, that's cool, bro. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I like all of them. The first 2 are definitely better, but 3 and 4 have their place as well. I don't like that they switched the guy who played the Djinn. I thought he should have, you know, been in the 3rd and 4th one, but I don't know that necessarily. I don't think they were necessarily going to make a 3rd and 4th one when they started the series, but yeah. But something that 3B Rotten Roger brought up today is how underrated Shocker is. Speaking of Wes Craven and all, I always found that movie to be underrated as well, and I've always liked it. But what do you guys think?
Shocker?
Yeah,
I love Shocker.
me too.
I wish they could have done some sequels for that one as originally intended.
Yes.
That was supposed to be Wes Craven's 90s Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yep. That should have been a franchise, along with Dr. Giggles. That should have been a franchise.
Dr. Giggles would have been awesome.
I mean, even The Dentist got a sequel. How come we couldn't get a sequel to Dr. Giggles, you know?
And they were both great, too. I love this.
Yeah.
Sean brings up a really good definition of a slasher movie. And mine is very similar to Sean's. There is a few differences, but Sean brings up a very good definition.
I was just looking at that, sort of analyzing his thoughts on that.
A slasher is a film with a killer or killers stalking and killing teens with a deadly weapon and shows creative deaths having one lone survivor who is pure and good, outlasting the evil. I agree quite a bit with that. I do have some differences, but I do agree with that a bit.
I would take out the one lone survivor bit.
Yeah.
Just because we have slashers with a few people remaining. Obviously, I mean, even Halloween, when you think about it, Loomis, even though Loomis is actually kind of the one after Michael, he's still a survivor. In the first one, you have obviously Laurie, and then you have the kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I do agree with a lot of that opinion, Sean. I guess I would just take out the one lone survivor bit.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, how's it going, brother?
And I do consider The Fog a supernatural slasher as well, along with Nightmare on Elm Street and Wishmaster.
I need to watch The Fog. I haven't watched that in 25 years.
It's awesome.
So when do you draw the line, and when do we not consider a movie a slasher? Like, I think for me, lots of times I kind of look at if it doesn't fit into, like, I don't consider, say, like a vampire movie a slasher. So if you have a vampire going around killing off victims one by one, I don't initially consider that a slasher film. Okay. But at the same time,
that the Central Park Drifter was a slasher.
That's what I was just going to say. At the same time, there are certain films that sort of follow that slasher, and have that slasher feel to them. And it sort of plays out like a slasher film, yet it also has elements of other categories.
Right.
Like, for myself, I know that I consider, even if it's a supernatural slasher film with, like, say, the Jinn or the a demon or something, like, for me, okay, my definition of a slasher film is you have one antagonist going after a group, or just in the movie. Right. You have one antagonist. He doesn't have to have the weapon. He could do whatever. He could use a rope. He could use whatever he wants, because I always felt that the term slasher was just put on the genre because in most cases they did have like a sharp object.
Yeah.
Right. So to me, it's a relative term. You don't have to have they can use their hands. They can use, in the Windmill, the guy used all kinds of different stuff. There's some really good ones out there.
I love that movie.
But even in a supernatural slasher, it to me, it has to have that kind of a human element. Mm-hmm. Like the Leprechaun, I consider Leprechaun a supernatural slasher.
Yeah,
but it's a humanoid type. It's a creature, but it's also a humanoid type of person. You know what
I
mean?
Child's Play. I mean,
yeah, he has a personality. Chucky's a doll, exactly, but he has a personality. Right. Like, okay, a lot of people, and we've talked about this before, Joe. Some people consider Jaws a slasher. I don't consider Jaws really a slasher, but it does have slasher aspects.
Yeah, I consider that. Yeah, more of like,
for me, it's got to be a human, not necessarily like 100% a human antagonist, but it's got to have, like, okay, Freddy Krueger is a dream demon, but he was a human before. Yep. The Leprechaun is a humanoid creature. It's got to have that kind of. I don't know if I want to say, because okay, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I was just going to ask you
about that. Chainsaw Massacre has multiple people in it that do the killing.
Exactly.
Kinda. But the focus of that movie is Leatherface.
So what about the Next Generation?
The focus of like I said, I need to rewatch that. I haven't watched that since I was a kid.
Because that completely flipped the switch on that.
Right. But you see that in a lot of sequels and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, okay, let's take Scream, for example.
Well, yeah, or Friday the 13th.
Scream has multiple killers, but you don't know that till the end. Mm-hmm. You think it's one person doing everything.
Yep.
She's falling asleep on my arm. She's all like, and I'm not saying and Sean, believe me, I'm not saying if you consider it a slasher, then it's a slasher for you. I'm not. I don't. Okay, like all right. Darren Burroughs brings up The Shining.
Yeah.
I don't consider The Shining a slasher film.
The last act, though, I do.
Even that, I really don't consider it. Just because he goes crazy and kills somebody, that's like saying Amityville Horror is a slasher. You know, the dad goes crazy in that and almost kills his family at the end, but then he stops. You know, I don't really think of it as a slasher, but that's just my opinion. You know.
So let me ask you. Here's a big question. Then, have you seen April Fool's Day?
Ah.
Oh yeah, long time ago.
Is it a slasher?
Oof, I think so.
Because if that's not a slasher, then what is?
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I guess that you could expand it to a group or whatever, but usually that's just all I've always considered. It's you know, one person stalking people or killing people. You know.
I guess so. I guess the question is do people actually have to die for it to be a slasher film?
Well, the intent for them was to die, correct?
Well, no, really. That's just such an interesting movie to tie into this, because obviously it's considered a slasher by most, but when you really think about it, you know, with the ending, is what kind of film does that make it?
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of like that Leslie Vernon. You know what I mean? I just watched that recently.
Yep.
Well, that's a slasher.
Yeah, it's definitely a slasher, but it was like a different take on the slasher. You know, like he set everything up. Okay, Jack brings up the point right there. I was just about to mention. Hostel is not a slasher. Hostel is not a slasher, in my opinion, and neither is Saw. Because like Hostel is about an organization of people, and it's more honestly, Hostel is more about the torture. That's the point of the movie. It's more about the torture.
Yeah.
You know, but the it's about an organization that it's a criminal organization basically that feeds the need for people to express this dark desire. It's not really a slasher. There's nothing slasher-matic about it. I guess I don't know if that's a word, but I just created it.
I think that's why they call it torture porn.
John, I would really like to know, and I'm not going to argue with you. I just would like to know why you think Saw is a slasher.
Well, I actually see Saw. I think it's a slasher too, and for a while I really didn't consider it to be a slasher, but I always see it, you know, mentioned as a slasher film. And I guess the more I think about it, it sort of does become that way. I mean, it's multiple victims killed in creative ways, technically by the same person in a way.
Yeah, but the thing about Saw is, okay, especially if we're talking about like the storyline of Saw, is that the point of him doing what he did, he never did any of the killing himself. So where's your killer? There is no killer. He's not actually a killer. He's put you in these traps, but there is a way out of the traps.
Yeah, but what about like Amanda with like the pig mask on?
Yeah, that's a technicality.
You know?
That's it. Consider The Shining a slasher, Joe?
The Shining, I consider it to be more of a haunted hotel, haunted house story with slasher elements.
You wanna wake up?
Right.
Okay. We're gonna have dinner.
I kind of feel the same way about that one.
I mean, if someone had never seen The Shining and they turn on the last act for the first time and they're watching it, I would think they would think it's a slasher film. You know, having seen like the beginning of the film, you know, you just see Jack Nicholson running around with an axe. It's going to appear to be a slasher film.
Right.
So I guess it's all in how you view it.
Right. Which is why we always said when we did our top 10, 15, 20 lists that you may not consider this a slasher, but I do.
Exactly. And that's the same thing with the Slashback Challenge. That's why I tell people, if you consider it a slasher, then I'm fine with that. It's meant to be fun, and that's it.
And Jack,
a lot of discussions about with different movies because the whole thing about Silence of the Lambs I was going to do one week because of the our hometown sort of thing, because it features Baltimore, Maryland in there. You know, is that a slasher? Do you consider it a slasher? Not
She
really.
fucking does.
No, she fell asleep with me.
I know
So-
that part of you right back.
She wants food.
Yeah, see when people talk about the Silence of the Lambs being a slasher, I never think of Hannibal Lecter as the slasher. I think of Buffalo Bill. I think of that
Right.
being the slasher element of the Silence of the Lambs.
See, and to me, that has a slasher element, but because Buffalo Bill is not the centerpiece of the story, I don't think of it as a
Right.
slasher.
Right, I agree.
And Jack, please remember that this is just my opinion. It's just my opinion. Like I said, for me, a slasher has to be
Hey,
a
Adam.
movie where we have one antagonist going around killing people. It doesn't matter who they are, but there's just one person doing it. That's my opinion. And
Yeah.
like I said, it's relative. All of this is relative. If you consider something a slasher, then it's a slasher to you. That's fine.
So what do you think about House of a Thousand Corpses or The Devil's Rejects?
House of a Thousand Corpses, to me, that's not a slasher film. Devil's Rejects is definitely not a slasher film. That one's not even the same genre as House of a Thousand Corpses. I mean, they're two totally different movies. They're completely different films.
But they both have slasher elements to them.
I would consider House of a Thousand Corpses more of a family satanic cult type movie.
Well, Sean just mentioned exactly what I'm going to say. See, you said Texas Chainsaw Massacre a slasher. I think if somebody thinks Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a slasher, I think it's hard to not consider House of a Thousand Corpses a slasher.
Right, I agree.
Well, see, House was just weird though, because you got to remember, like you said, Jason, we talked about this before about how Rob was trying to pack so many elements
Right.
into that movie because he didn't know if he'd get another chance to make another horror movie.
Right.
You know, he's trying to put all this different stuff in there. So there are slasher elements, but I'm not going to go out on a limb and say it's a pure slasher film.
Right.
You know, like we have the Dr. Satan part. You know, we have Captain Spaulding, who at that time we don't realize is one of the Firefly clan.
So that's why this is fun.
You
So
know,
what category would you place it in then?
well, like I said, I would put it in the okay. Well, we'll find out what she thinks.
She's right though. She's definitely right.
Yeah, she's right. I have to like stop and pay attention so I can understand everything she's saying, you know. Oh, I understand, Jack. I just wanted to make sure you understood that I wasn't telling you don't think it's a slasher. You think what you think. You know, I'm just, you know.
Oh yeah, that's the whole point of this conversation too, everyone. You know, everyone. I was curious to know everyone's opinions. Everyone from the chat, obviously, you know, Brad and Jason. But that was kind of my idea when I came up with the idea to do this anyway.
And like I said,
Hey,
Texas
how you
Chainsaw
doing, buddy?
Massacre, that one's definitely a slasher to me because yes, the family does help, but they're kind of like ancillary characters. They're kind of like supporting cast. Leatherface is the focus of that film. You know, I mean, he is the one that we are concentrating on. And as the franchise goes on, it gets more like that. You have more to do. Okay, like in the second one, they bring in Chop Top, and it was because of Bill Moseley's performance that it got so much attention. Okay, and I won't ever knock Bill Moseley's performance. I think he does a good job. I just don't like the movie. But let me ask this question: if Bill Moseley wasn't playing Chop Top, say it wasn't Bill Moseley, say it was Will Smith, just throwing a name out there, completely different actor than Bill Moseley, and he didn't play it the way Bill Moseley did, would people even give a shit about Chop Top?
No.
You know, Bill Moseley made that character what he is. Bill Moseley made that character what people want to see, and he kind of stole the show of that movie, if you know what I mean. Just like in part 4, McConaughey steals the show.
Oh, absolutely.
But that wasn't I don't think that was the intent of the film. The intent of those films was to focus around Leatherface. You know,
they use a character like that in every film.
Yeah, and even in the remakes, the sheriff Lee Ermey, it's because of his performance. He's just so good.
Yeah,
you know, but the movie isn't based around him. You know, now the second one was a little more based around him, or the prequel or whatever. But that's because he was so big in the first one. People loved it so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That they gave him even more to do in the second one or the prequel. But that's just how I feel about it. Like, to me, yes, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is definitely a slasher. And the slasher in the movie is Leatherface. Now, there are other people that do killing, just like in Halloween Part 6. Or even Halloween Part 5, if you want to go Halloween Part 5. Michael Myers is the slasher. The man in black that shows up at the end, he still kills people, but he's not the slasher. Michael Myers is the slasher. Yeah. You know, that's what I'm trying to say is, yes, so there is that one central figure in your movie. You know, that's why Leatherface is the icon and Chop Top's still the side character.
Hmm.
You know.
He was only in one movie too, so.
Yeah. Well, technically he was in the two of them. He was in Leatherface, the prequel, as well. So.
How you doing, Wayne? Glad you could be here.
Hey, Wayne, how's it going, brother? Did Movie John leave the chat? Or Movie John, are you still there? I didn't want Movie John to think I was ignoring him or any of us were ignoring him.
No, we were just in the middle of the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, but definitely, if you consider whatever you consider slash, like I said, I didn't even consider the Alien films even to be horror movies for the longest time.
Yeah.
Because I didn't find them scary. They were just sci-fi movies to me. It wasn't until I really started analyzing them that I was like, oh man, yeah, especially the first one. There is some slasher elements in this movie. This is a horror movie.
Yep. Definitely.
You know?
I felt the same way about Freddy for the longest time. I didn't consider Freddy or any of the Nightmare on Elm Streets a slasher movie because of the supernatural aspect of it. It just didn't jibe with me. But then, of course, Friday the 13th got more and more zombie-ish as he went along, so that kind of blew that out of the. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what I meant, Wayne. That's how I feel about it. Like, to be a slasher, you have to have a killer that's going around stalking people, basically.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and I guess you could have more than one because, like, I mean, it doesn't have, but that's just my own perception or my own kind of thing. I'm trying to think of another movie that has, like, okay, You're Next. That's a perfect example. I don't consider You're Next to be a slasher film. To me, that's a home invasion film.
Right.
The Strangers is another one. The Strangers is not a slasher film. It's a home invasion film.
The second one is.
Well, I guess because they're not actually invading a home.
It is. I mean, the second one to me is
they're invading the
straight up
trailer
slasher
park. No.
Yeah, but what's the difference between the first one and the second one? You still have the same.
Are you ready to go eat?
I consider the first one to be a slasher. I'm just saying the second one.
Mommy's making food.
Yeah, so do I. Although I also consider it to be a home invasion film at the same time.
Like, I consider the first movie, yeah, exactly. I consider the first movie to be a home invasion slasher, and I consider the second one to just be a straight up slasher film.
Yeah, and that's the thing with sequels. Is sequels can change the genre even of a franchise.
Yeah, they can definitely change the dynamic.
You know,
look at the collection, the collector and the collection.
Mm-hmm. Both very awesome. Oh yes, I could say. Well, the collector definitely, the collection too, but the collection, it got so much more in depth, and you started to see things like it almost put a little bit of like Human Centipede in there, what he was doing with the bodies, you know, and like the mass killing with the big trap in his club, you know, that was almost like a little bit of, huh?
It's not, the first one wasn't a home invasion film too?
The first one is a home invasion film, but it's also very much a slasher.
But what's funny,
he is in there by himself stalking people, but he just liked to set traps to do it with, but he was still doing the killing.
It's funny though how close home invasion films and slasher films really are, because I mean, you think of a movie, you think of a movie like Home Sweet Home, you know, with Body by Jake, and obviously, you know, he invades the family's home on Thanksgiving, but no one considers it a home invasion film. They consider it a slasher film. But
very true.
It's definitely a home invasion film because what's the difference?
Right.
Very true. Very true.
So it's just interesting, like how people perceive different films, even though they're a lot similar to other genres. than they realize.
And once again, like with The Strangers, you had 3 people, right?
Yep.
So that's why I didn't consider, one of the reasons I don't consider The Strangers a slasher film. I just considered Home Invasion. Same thing with Your Next. You had multiple people, multiple killers. I considered it a home invasion. With The Collector and The Collection, you had the one killer.
Right.
You had the one killer doing it.
Kyle brought up a good one. What about the movie Hush?
Which one? Which movie Hush? I've got 2 of them. The Netflix Hush or the other Hush?
I think it's the Netflix Hush. Is what
the Netflix Hush is definitely a slasher film.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's a slasher that likes to play with his victims. I love that movie.
Me too. Wish it would get an official release.
I think Jack's getting mad at me.
I'm not mad at you.
I think he's just questioning it.
Oh, there's a good one, Death Proof. I've been asked that. Even my boss asked me that because she loves Death Proof.
Yeah.
In a way, it is because he's using his car as his weapon. But in a way, it isn't because it's kind of like a almost like not a rape revenge, but a revenge film, and also it's a revenge film, and it's also like a road rage, I guess we could call it, kind of film. I don't know. That's such an awesome one. I know. I'm just playing, Jack. I was just messing with you. That one's very genre. That one's hard to define.
Yeah. Oh, Last House on the Left. Do you consider that a home invasion film?
I always wondered. No, I don't.
I don't either.
I don't consider it home invasion. They didn't invade nothing. They were invited in.
Right.
I consider that to be just like psycho killer movie. I don't know.
But that brings up an interesting point too. They were invited in because then that would mean what is that movie with oh my god, hold on, I gotta look this up. There's another movie where they're invited in and it's definitely considered a home invasion film. But yeah, I mean that's is what's interesting about it. It's like Funny Games. Yep, the movie Funny Games. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah, my wife had it before you did,
Joe. So Funny Games. I mean,
that one before you did, Joe. I'm ashamed of you.
What's that?
I said my wife had that one before you did.
Oh, but
she hates that film though.
Well, like that movie. I mean, technically they're invited in and they just take over the house. So
very true, very true.
It's interesting.
But they are asked to leave shortly after they get in there, so they kind of stay against their will, I guess. If you look at it that way.
True.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a fantastic film.
Jay says he's mad at you for what, or Jack says he's mad at you for what you said about Halloween too, Joe.
Oh, what my overrated video, I guess.
Yeah, I hate you too. Oh. Dude, that movie pairs so perfectly with the original.
Yes, it does.
How is it overrated?
Because I feel like people didn't pay attention to my video.
I'm just giving you shit, Joe.
No, I know, but I'm saying it's like I love that movie. I think it's one of the greatest sequels of all time. But like I said, I think it's overrated when people call it the greatest sequel of all time.
Do you want more bacon?
That was it. That's all I said.
No, that's cool.
I think Psycho 2 is one of the best
sequels of all time.
Do you have any ketchup?
In my opinion, but
yeah. So which
John,
bring me to my next topic. You know, a lot of people consider, Peeping Tom to be the first ever slasher film. But then you have people talking about, proto slashers, and the first slasher film didn't really start until the 80s. So it's like, and then they leave out, say, Halloween. Halloween started the slasher phase, but then Black Christmas started the slasher phase. So what actually was the first slasher film? And what do you guys?
Psycho.
Well, Peeping Tom came before Psycho, so
they both came out in 1960, though.
Yeah, but Peeping Tom was before. But I guess my point is, people use that phrase proto slasher. Like, what's the difference between a proto slasher and a slasher film?
I guess what they mean by that is a proto slasher is a slasher film that was before slashers were popular, or I don't know. People seem to have to put everything in a box.
And that's what's funny to me. That's like calling Night of the Living Dead a proto-zombie movie.
Right. Well, Silent Night, Bloody Night is a slasher film to me.
There you go, and that's exactly where I was going with that. Like, that is straightforward.
I had a feeling.
Well, because when you watch it, it's just so, like, it's so obviously a slasher. I mean, between having elements
all the bacon there was there?
and Halloween, it's straight slasher film, and I don't see how people consider that to be a proto slasher when it's exactly what Black Christmas and Halloween are.
Yep. I completely agree. Maybe it's because, well, Black Christmas is finally getting, I think, a lot more people that care about it, as opposed to years and years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It always bothers me when they say that Halloween started the slasher craze, but it kind of did, because it made it popular and it made it more accessible, and people started wanting to make movies cheaply, and they knew how successful it could be, and so on and so forth. But like you said, Silent Night, Bloody Night actually came out, was it 3 years or 2 or 3 years before Black Christmas?
Exactly.
So, I'm trying to think of what year it was shot in, because it didn't come out right away.
I think it was shot in 71.
I think you're right.
And then it was released in like 72 or 73.
Right. Yeah, I think you're right about that. But yeah, maybe the whole proto slasher thing is because it's not what made slasher films because of popularity. I'm guessing that's where they're going with that one.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, I had to eat real quick.
That's all right. It's all right.
And I didn't want to show it, like usual.
Jack, to answer your question, do I like the remake of Black Christmas? To be honest, that was one of my least favorite remakes when I first saw it, and I don't know why, because I rewatched it this past Christmas for the first time since it was released, and I loved it this time around. So,
yeah, I did too.
And Jack, I'm about to make Jason angry. Black Christmas remake is like 50 times better than the original.
Oh.
I they put people on timeout. You're on timeout there, Frank.
I loved the original. I did them both, and actually, when I did the Christmas challenge this year, Jason, that you did, that was my first time seeing the original and the remake.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
No,
I think.
Wait, I thought you had seen the remake before.
No, I never seen the remake. I had seen the original like once before, I think,
okay.
Or maybe it was the other way around. I don't remember. But I do know that I hadn't watched either of them in forever or anything like that. And I told you I bought I bought what I thought was the original from eBay, and the guy sent me the remake instead.
Right. Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
It's funny this came up because I actually found the Blockbuster exclusive of the Black Christmas remake today, the DVD exclusive.
Oh yeah,
it has like that Blockbuster border.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that might be the one that I have, Joe.
Yeah, actually, I came across it today at the at Goodwill. I picked it up.
Yeah.
Like the only copy I have of that, I've got the remake, and then I have. Well, I don't have. I DVR'd. I DVR'd the original.
Right.
But yeah, it's I really loved that remake. I thought it was so good. I liked that it showed him like more the backstory. I liked that. I love that scene where he cooks and eats his mother's skin as cookies.
See, I think that's probably the stuff that I liked. I didn't like the first time around because I think I love the original so much because of the mysteriousness to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when I first saw the remake, it was just kind of put me off. But watching it again, like I said, I loved it this time around. It was something different. You know, it's different from the original, obviously.
Right.
Sal had made a good point. He didn't like the remake of Black Christmas, which I do understand. But definitely, you're still out there. Yeah, he's still out there. check out the original. It's a really, really good film. It is a slow burn, but it's a good film.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and the thing that I liked about the remake was there were some subtle things in that movie I liked. And I mentioned in my review, the very end of that movie,
stop it.
when the killer gets killed on the Christmas trees, I didn't notice it at first, but then I noticed it. As you're looking up at her, you could see the lights behind him going off with his silhouette.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was, for some reason, I don't know why. Maybe it may sound dumb, but I thought that was so cool. I was like, that is just a cool visual right there, you know?
Hey, I'm ready.
I think what I love so much about the original Black Christmas is it has like that perfect contrast of like the joyous holiday season and then like that darkness. It's weird. It's like, I mean, I love Christmas and I love horror, so it was like the perfect combination.
Yes.
It's like it's like these you know, like the blinking Christmas lights, the multicolored lights, and Silent Night is being sung by carolers, and at the same time you have a killer, you know, making these obscene phone calls and knocking off the girls one by one. It's just that perfect contrast. It just got it so right for me.
Yeah.
That's one of the few movies that actually creeped me out too.
I am ready.
It gave me the creeps. Not gonna lie.
Also, hello, Adam. I don't think I said hi to you when you came in. I didn't see you.
Hey, Adam.
So,
I think you just came.
But yeah, I don't know. Like going back to our original topic. What do you think, Joe? What is a slasher 100% to you like?
And to be honest, I don't know. And I guess I consider a lot of movies. I tend to consider more movies slashers than other people wouldn't consider slashers. Because I feel like, you know, slashers can fit into so many other categories as well. As we talked about home invasion films, you know, there are certain, like I said, like something like Central Park Drift or Graveyard Shift. That's definitely a vampire film first and foremost, but it definitely follows that slasher, you know, those slasher guidelines in the same way. I mean, if he wasn't a vampire and he was just killing people with a knife, then it would be a slasher film. So to me, I can't consider it a slasher only if there's a knife or weapon being used, because as we already discussed, that's not always the case. Yeah. So it's interesting. You have a movie like Don't Go in the House, you know, where it's not knives being used or nobody's being stabbed.
A flamethrower.
Exactly. But to me, that's still a slasher film. So
yes, it is. Yes, it is. Definitely.
Yes, Tim. That is Michael Myers on my jersey.
Brad, have you ever
seen that again?
House?
Which one?
Don't Go in the House.
No, I don't think so.
Good movie.
Oh, you know who's in Don't Go in the House, Brad? Patsy Parisi from The Sopranos.
Oh, wow.
He's like he's the main character in it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
It's cheesy, but it's a fun movie, and it's really, really dark.
Yeah, that's another one that keeps coming up is When a Stranger Calls. You guys consider that to be a slasher film?
Yes.
Me too.
More so the second than the first.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, I agree.
And I'm a big fan of the second one. I cannot praise that movie enough, and I'm so glad that Scream Factory is finally giving it a proper treatment. Hopefully.
So another good example is Superstition. You know, Superstition is obviously it's like a supernatural slasher, but it can also be considered like a witch film.
Right.
You know, I mean, even Suspiria has slasher elements, especially in the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
You know, like that. The opening scene, especially, is sort of it almost starts out like it's going to be a slasher film, and then sort of transitions into something else. So it's like the reverse of what I said about The Shining earlier. If, you know, someone turned on the end of The Shining, they would consider it a slasher. I think if someone only watched the first say 20 minutes of Suspiria, they may think that that's a slasher film.
Very true. Very true.
Right. Jack, I haven't uploaded yet. I've still got about 4 hours till midnight here.
Yes, Kyle Sweeney, Hopper's Island, like a slasher show. It's all.
Hey, get your own food.
That's fine. I'm getting it right now.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Adam, did you Oh, okay. Adam uploaded his about a half an hour ago. Okay.
Nice.
Be interesting to check that one out. I didn't even think of Bloody Birthday that Andrew did. I thought that was great.
I went with an obscure one this week. I'm trying to fit as many obscure titles in as I can.
Yeah, me too.
That's what I was trying to do too. I tried to get ones that but also ones I haven't seen.
Me too. Yeah, me too. That's why I went with what I went with this week. But
I'm gonna try to go with an obscure one next week too. I think you guys will like the topic. This is a very simple topic for next week's theme.
Break it down, Joe. Break it down.
I want to throw a few easy ones in there. You know, it's a challenge. Some weeks are going to be more difficult than others, but next week is I mean, there's a wealth of choices, and it sort of ties into this topic, which is why I chose that theme.
Oh, okay. You got me curious now.
Well, like I said, it's very simple. It's just that again, a lot of people consider, people think of slasher films. They think of the '80s. They think of Friday the 13th. They think of those sort of classics. But I do think there are slashers that were even earlier than that, and even earlier than Halloween, as we discussed. So,
well, I'm doing one from the '60s.
Exactly.
Let's say what yours is, but do you consider that to be a slasher film?
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah,
I think so too.
Especially with when they talk about it being the I don't want to give this away. I don't know if this will give it away or not, but the granddaddy of the machete slashers. Yeah, I definitely think so.
I mean, this is the way I see it too. When going back to like the proto slashers and what's not, it's like you think about vampire films over the years. You have films such as Nosferatu and Dracula, and then you have say films like Twilight or 30 Days of Night, Near Dark, The Lost Boys. You have they're all vampire films, but they're all very different. So I'm not going to consider one a slasher film and another one not a slasher vampire film, I should say. They're all vampire films. They're just different.
Yeah, I agree.
So I mean, it's the same thing. A '60s slasher film is going to be different than a '70s slasher film and an '80s slasher film. It's just the style of the way the movies were being made during that decade.
Well, it's also like the movie Red Riding Hood.
Yeah.
Whether you like the movie or not. No, I don't think Jason's done the one I'm doing. Jason, you haven't done the one I'm doing this week, have you? I didn't think so.
I know what he's talking about. I think he's talking about, and I was just going to say something about it, was Bay of Blood.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm not doing that one.
Yeah.
Okay, the movie Red Riding Hood, whether you like it or not, I like that movie. I think it's a good movie.
The one with
Amanda Seyfried?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a werewolf movie, but it does have some slasher aspects. I mean, the werewolf is kind of stalking the village, and he's killing for human reasons, kind of.
Yeah.
But to me, it's still just a werewolf movie. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I said I guessed wrong. Yeah.
I enjoyed it, man. I found it and I really loved it, and I mean I could see there's some. It's not like I had one issue with it, but it's not like I don't know. You'll have to watch my review. But I mean, I like the movie. It just you can definitely see that it is one of those older. They were trying to get this down, what they were doing, And here's another hint. I don't want to give it away, but you can really tell in the music. The music of it, to me, sounds like an old Universal or Hammer Dracula film.
I was gonna say I don't want to give it away either, but even it's the director. I mean, it's the director's style.
Yes,
you can watch the movie and know who directed that movie.
Exactly. So, but
I gotta say, I was really pleasantly surprised with mine this week. I had never seen it before. I had always wanted to see it. I heard sort of mixed things about it, and it was fun. I mean, it wasn't as good as Phantom Brother last week. I loved Phantom Brother, but my pick this week
is a fun movie.
Oh, it really is. I love that movie.
It's so goofy.
And I know I kind of cheated last week by doing Curse of Chucky, but I needed to get it done, and it fit the criteria.
Yeah, it worked.
Oh, yeah, sure. It fit everything.
Well,
Curse of Chucky.
it's definitely one I've seen before, and it's not an obscure title for sure.
Well, A Bay of Blood isn't really an obscure title either.
Yeah, and I mean we're gonna do movies like that are more well known eventually, just because we want to do them.
Yeah, but no joke. Last week for the family slashers, I had Phantom Brother picked out. I had a few others picked out, and almost at the last minute, I felt like watching Friday the 13th, and I was like, "There's no way I can do Friday the 13th for this." But I almost watched it just because I felt like watching it, and it would have fit the theme. But
yeah, and see a lot of those too. The one as soon as you name a theme, Joe, I'd be like, and I'm not saying this, but you name a theme, and I'll be like, "Oh, Friday the 13th Part 2," and I was like, "But I've already reviewed that."
Yeah.
Oh, Nightmare on Elm Street 5. Oh, but I've already reviewed that. So
now, is your criteria more, Joe, that you want to pick something that's obscure and that people haven't heard of, or is it that you don't want to be duplicated?
I just think it really comes down to my mood, to be honest. Like, I think going back to the Sporty Slashers week, I ended up doing Twisted Nightmare, which I had already reviewed, and it just came down to the fact that I felt like watching it again. It was my wife's first time watch, and as I'm watching it, I'm like, wow, this fits the theme, and it was just a good leeway into what I'm expecting, and that I'm not expecting much. I mean, it's one scene in the movie that featured sports. It was important to the plot, but that's all that I needed. I wasn't expecting anyone to watch a slasher that's just about sports. And so it really just depends. I mean, it depends on the theme, it depends on my mood. Like I said, sometimes I have something picked out before I even announce the theme, and then by the time I film my video, I'm doing a completely different movie.
Right. I'm still surprised we both did Phantom of the Mall.
I know. And I wasn't even originally going to do that one.
Well, I was surprised that I'm not the only person that did Phenomena a couple weeks ago. But
that's true.
Here's what's funny about that is I didn't know he did that. I didn't know Cadaver did the movie.
Yeah.
I've missed Cadaver Club's last 3 slashback movies for some reason.
And Shannon had done it too. Rusting Willpower. She did that.
Yeah, and Rusting Willpower did it. But I didn't see Cadaver Clubs until yesterday. I missed 3 of his slashback videos. And I'm like, how did I miss these?
Yeah, I don't get notifications a lot either, unfortunately. But
yeah, I just kind of scroll through and just look for that slashback challenge. That's why I tell people to put slashback challenge in the title.
Yeah, me too. And for some reason, I just skipped over Ben's, and I don't know how. Yeah. I apologize profusely. Because he does good videos, and I liked what he had to say. He and I disagreed a bit on Phenomena because he likes the bands, but he really didn't like the songs or think they fit the movie. I thought they did. So,
well, it was the 80s, and
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, definitely, I try to do obscure titles if they fit.
Yeah,
that was kind of like the plan originally. I have so many different obscure titles that I haven't watched even once, so it was sort of a way to be able to watch them for the first time. And then, like I said, things changed throughout the week, and I decided I want to watch something else. But
and that's something else too that's awesome because, like I said, I'm trying to do movies. A lot of these on Slashback, I'm trying to do movies I haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Well, I have all these really awesome friends and really cool subscribers that keep sending me movies. So now I've got all kinds of movies to pick from. Like, especially one of my go-to things is when I can't find anything. And sometimes, Joe, I find these challenges to be really hard.
Really?
But then I realize you're exactly right. Sometimes I just overthink it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sometimes I think too much about it. Like when I was doing, I don't remember which one I did, but I was like, man, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I? And then I was like, oh, wait, I'll just do this one. Why didn't I think of that in the first place? Because I'm just trying to analyze it so much. I'm not even realizing the obvious choices in front of me. But like, say I can't find anything, I'll go pick up that that 20-pack of movies that Omnis and Esquire sent me, and I'll look through that because that's got tons of slashers in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll just be like, well, there's got to be one here that fits the theme, you know?
Yeah, I've been having trouble picking lately because I've been doing that Friday Fright Night thing, and because I'm trying not to do slashers for that one especially.
Right.
And also, the thing I started with Eric this weekend on Sundays, the Alphabet of Doom. For B this week, I almost picked Basement Jack, which is a slasher film, and a really good one if you've never seen it. But I was like, well, maybe I should save that to do for the TheHORRORman's Slashback Challenge, and I ended up holding off on it and doing something else instead. So I'm trying not to pick slasher movies specifically for other challenges that I've been doing. So that not that I don't have a plethora of slasher films to do, but some of the more obscure titles I like to feature in your challenge. So,
Hey, John, welcome back.
Hey, Movie John.
We're nobodies, John. We're just a couple of assholes that decided to jack TheHORRORman's channel.
Brad's ass and I'm whole.
Yep.
But yeah, I think pretty soon too, I'm gonna have take someone's suggestion for a slashback theme. I haven't done that yet, so I'll have a special guest theme selector coming up.
Aaron?
So if you guys have any ideas, start thinking of them.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, definitely. I actually told Horror Freak today that I wouldn't be participating in the Friday challenge this week, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the next upcoming weeks. It's just because I was trying to get it in this week, and then I had so many other videos of my own I needed to do,
right,
and that I had planned on doing and that I wanted to do. But the Saturday challenge, that one's definitely in the books for me because I love doing that. That's just I've loved it, and I'm gonna keep doing it.
I don't want to scare the viewers, John. That's why I don't show myself. But no, I do plan to at some point. I'm making a nice setup here for my backdrop, and one day I'll have a nice reveal video.
You're welcome, Jack. Definitely get it. It's a very, very good movie. Very good slasher. You'll be seeing it probably in an upcoming Slashback Saturday challenge. Hopefully.
Boy.
No.
Have you seen that one, Joe? Basement Jack?
I haven't. I know what it is. I've never seen it though.
Yeah. Good movie.
One of the big things for me, Jack, was it's that they're on back-to-back days.
Yeah.
And I had 2 videos already ready that I needed to upload, and one I wanted to upload it today. So I uploaded it this morning, but then I also had this stream today. So I didn't have time to do the video for the Friday challenge because then at midnight I'm going to upload the Saturday challenge. So
right,
I don't want it to get lost in the shuffle, so to speak, either.
Yeah.
And my problem is if I start doing something, I need to do it every week because I'm just neurotic that way. So if I started doing the Friday challenge, then I'm dedicated for the rest of the year.
Right. Well, I did it last week, but I had more time last week than I did this week.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been enjoying watching the videos. I'd love to participate, but like I said, I'm just neurotic that way.
Right. And like I said, there's a few of my own things that I've been wanting to do more of. I want to bring back my B movies, Be Bad or Be Good segment. I still got Wild Eyes I need to review. I got so my days are getting a little filled with stuff, plus trying to fit in live streams.
Did you get False Flag, Brad?
Which one?
False Flag?
Yes, I did. The action movie looking one?
Yeah, I watched it yesterday.
Is it a horror or is it an action?
It's more of an action movie, more of a political thriller action movie, if you will. And it's also found footage, And yeah, that's pretty much all I'm going to say about it. I still have to review.
Well,
But
it's something different from Wild Eye. That's cool. You know,
it is. It is. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to say too much about it. So, but
Well, speaking of action, action and horror sometimes goes head to head. You know, it goes together. At some point, there's going to be a slashback theme that sort of focuses on that. So,
oh geez, that's going to be a tough one for me.
now what I
no,
normally
that's an easy one right there, bro.
it is. See, what I normally
You've
when I
already
go-
reviewed it though, Jason.
yeah,
Right.
I try to think
But
of
I
like
haven't.
I try to think of at least like 10 that would fit the theme before I announce it, just to make sure there's enough options.
Right.
And typically,
Right.
if I can think of at least 10 I feel that are fairly common, then I feel like it'll be a good theme.
Well,
But I
what
guess
first
that's-
popped into my mind was Predator. That's the first thing that popped into my mind.
Well,
What's this one?
you got Cobra, you have 10 to Midnight, you know, you got Silent Rage.
The
Hero
first
in
one
the
that popped into my mind was Silent Rage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they're out there.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
Ben.
reviewed that one twice.
What's going on, Ben?
Have you guys seen What We Do in the Shadows? Movie John wants to know.
I've never seen it.
It is
I've heard
great.
good things about it.
They started a series.
Oh, that's that's probably what he's talking about.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but that movie is so funny.
Really?
Yeah, What
I've
We Do
heard
in the Shadows is great. It's like a parody on vampires,
Yeah.
but it's just so good. It's
Like Dark Shadow parody, or
no. Has anyone ever seen Flight of the Conchords, the
Yeah.
television show?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
You did?
Mm-mm.
It's almost exactly like that, but with vampires.
Interesting.
It's hysterical. It is absolutely hysterical.
Hey, Rob. Hey, Ben. I was just talking about you a few minutes ago.
Hey Ben, how you doing, buddy? Darren, we have Rob. Hey,
So
Rob.
Darren asks, what do we think of Don't Go to Sleep, 1982? Would you say it's a slasher?
I don't know. You're gonna have to explain it to me because I think I've seen that, but I can't remember. What was that one about?
That's an interesting one. I got to think about that.
Yeah, me too.
I think I kind of remember that. I remember that title. I just don't remember the movie.
I mean, it has slasher elements, I guess.
Actually, I don't know if I've seen that one, to be honest. It sounds familiar though.
I talked about it in one of my early, not on DVD or Blu-ray videos,
Okay.
but like I said early on, that was one of the first ones I probably showed.
Well, along those lines, Home for the Holidays, I consider a slasher,
There you go, definitely, me too.
and that's a television movie.
I watched it again at Christmas time, and it's definitely and there's definitely some TV slashers, without a doubt.
Do you consider Puppet Master a slasher?
I don't get why people don't release that movie. It's so stupid.
I know.
I just don't. It's such
Puppet
a-
Master, Brad.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another interesting one. I mean, you know, we consider Child's Play a slasher, but do we consider Puppet Master a slasher? And if that's the case, do we consider Dolls a slasher?
Well, see, because
Yeah,
there's
I
some
think
there's
that-
stories. Child's
Kill
Play,
the
Child's Play, it's a serial killer inside of a doll. So with Puppet Master, it's a little different. It's like Hellraiser. Okay, I don't consider Hellraiser a slasher movie.
Hellraiser has slasher elements with Julia. That's what I think.
With Julia, yes, but
Right.
like people consider Pinhead a slasher icon. I'm like, he never slashed anybody in those movies. You know, but
Yeah. But Puppet Master kind of follows the Child's Play. If you watch the series, all the puppets were made from someone.
I've
Exactly.
only seen the first 4 movies. I have them all, but I've only seen the first 4.
I mean, even
Well,
Dolls, in that sense. I mean, Dolls were all regular people, and then they were turned into dolls.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
I'm sorry. I don't have the new one, Littlest Reich. I don't have that yet.
Oh, that's great. You got to see that.
I've heard it's funny, but I want to watch the rest of them first. And then I need to watch Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys 1, 2, and 3, I think. I think there's 3 of them.
No, there's only one Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys, and then there's Demonic Toys as its own entity too.
Right, yeah, I knew that. But I thought there was
Demonic
3
Toys.
movies.
Wasn't Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys just a
It was like a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, but wasn't it a bunch of clips from both movies? And they
That was no, that actually has more of a story than Puppet Master: The Legacy does.
Right, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, Puppet Master: The Legacy is mostly clips with like maybe 10 minutes of new footage.
Right.
And then,
so in other words, it's Silent Night, Deadly Night 2?
It's kind of like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So it seems people in the chat think Puppet Master is a slasher.
The first one is, if you really look at it, from the way the movie is, it is a slasher film.
Yeah.
They are slashed. They're in an old hotel. I believe it's Bodega Bay is what it's called. Bodega Bay.
Yeah, I mean even Puppet Master 2, I could think of some scenes, yeah, I mean I definitely would consider them slashes, I guess.
Yeah.
Have you seen The Babysitter?
Up into the higher movies that they're kind of not slashers anymore. Once they made them into heroes.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the Netflix movie The Babysitter?
No.
Yes.
3B.
Joe, you got to see that movie. It's fucking amazing.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty darn good.
Really freaking good. But I don't consider that a slasher. That's it's like a cult movie or something. Like they're like in a satanic cult or whatever.
Right. I didn't really consider that a slasher movie either.
Yeah.
And that's funny because there was a TV movie made in 1980, also called The Babysitter, that had William Shatner.
Yep.
Hi, Kelly. I don't think I said hi to you. Sorry, Joe. Or sorry, Jason.
Trying to think of who else was in that movie, but I used to think that was a slasher film until
Which
I watched it. It's called The Babysitter. It was a television movie from 1980, which actually I think is quite good, but I don't really consider it a slasher film. I used to when I was a kid, but yeah.
Do you guys still Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead consider that a horror movie?
No.
It's kind of a horror comedy in a way. I mean, it's more comedy, of course, but
it's a dark comedy. Yeah.
It does have some horror aspects. I mean,
definitely a dark comedy.
Well, if you consider that a horror comedy, what about a Weekend at Bernie's?
Right.
Well, nobody's going around killing people in that one. I mean, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's Weekend at Bernie's. That's funny.
That movie's hysterical.
Yeah, it is. The second one's funny too.
Yeah, it's not bad. Definitely not bad.
Yeah, there have been a couple different movies called The Babysitter. Some of them been horror, some of them not. But the one I was talking about is the one on Netflix right now. That one's really good.
It was one with Alicia Silverstone at some point.
Oh, that sucked. That was terrible.
How about Hey, or Honey, I Married an Axe Murderer?
Oh, so I Married an Axe Murderer?
Is that a horror movie?
Yeah.
Dark comedy.
That's horror elements.
Death Becomes Her. That's a good one, dude. I like that movie.
Serial Mom.
Oh, yeah. My wife just said Serial Mom. A Serial Mom horror movie.
I mean, I do consider it to be a slasher. If someone used it for the Slashback Challenge, and I think it works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was going to.
Yeah.
I couldn't find
it was Dave, wasn't it? Didn't Dave do that one?
Maybe.
Yeah. Short Circuit was a slasher movie called Chopping Mall.
Who said that?
All right, so that's a good one. So Chopping Mall, to me, I consider that to be a slasher film, but that's multiple robots killing people in the mall.
Is it? Well, yeah. I gotta watch that movie.
To me, that's definitely a slasher.
There's Rotten. Hey, what's up, Rotten Roger? Death Becomes Her. Is that a horror movie? I
don't know if it's a horror movie, but it's a good movie.
Yeah, I think it's a horror comedy.
Well, it's like, okay,
it was released by Scream Factory.
Yeah.
Circuit the Deadly Friend at the Chopping Mall.
Okay, it's like, all right, Young Frankenstein. Young Frankenstein is 100% comedy, but it is also a horror movie in the way that the classic Universal Monsters are horror movies. Excuse me.
Right. Yeah, it's like a horror parody.
Well, it is kind of it's the same thing with Dracula Dead and Loving. That's a horror parody for sure. But I would still like if the challenge was to do a horror comedy, I would throw Dracula or I would throw Young Frankenstein in the mix.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
It's that old school horror. It's not like really scary, but it's it's still got those elements.
I mean, when people have asked me in the past, what do you consider horror? I've always basically said if a movie scares you in any way, then to that individual person, it can be considered a horror film. Someone may be
there ain't no
someone may be terrified of someone may be terrified of clowns, and any movie featuring a clown could be a horror movie to them because they're terrified of clowns.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah, and see now we're also desensitized. Nothing can be considered horror.
And exactly. So that's why it really broadens the line.
Yeah.
That's why I'm actually having trouble. Horror and Taj just did 5 movies or 5 modern day movies that scares you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to figure out what to put as a tag video for that.
There's one for me, and that's The Conjuring.
Did that scare you?
It doesn't like scare me where I'm hiding under my bed or anything. It's just I believe in demon possession, and that's a very.
So the question is, Brad, which movie does scare you so you're hiding under your bed?
There isn't one anymore. There isn't one. But okay, for me, a movie if it gets to me, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm done with the movie and I'm thinking about it, okay, I thought about after I saw The Conjuring for the first time, I had to actually go and have a talk with my pastor about it.
Oh boy.
Not like it's because they don't scare me. Demons don't scare me, but I believe in demon possession. I've seen a lot of very weird shit that could be chalked up to demon possession, and I believe in it. I really do, and it's they did that movie very, very well. And then when they interviewed the original family, and the original family said that if you watch that movie, you're basically living what we lived. That's pretty freaky to me,
Yeah.
The other 2 movies that scare me, the only other 2 movies that still scare me, and not really scare me, I mean I love them so they don't scare me, but The Omen and Halloween.
3?
No, the original Halloween. Dork. I mean, there'll be times where I will go to bed after watching Halloween and I'll still think I see Michael in the freaking corner. Or I'll go and lock my door. Like, make sure my doors are locked. I mean, I'm not afraid to admit that. Those movies. But I really dig into those movies of what they are and what they really stand for and mean. And that's some scary shit, man. Especially because, like, when you think about what I did for a living and then just right down the road, like 10 miles down the road, there's a prison that held mental patients,
Yeah.
I mean, and there was actually a few prison breaks,
Spend
at the time.
there, Brad.
So, huh?
Spend the night there.
I have. I used to work there.
Oh, okay.
Multiple
And by
times.
working, you mean you actually had a job there, or was that your residence for a little while?
No, that one I actually worked at. My residence one was in Curry County.
Oh,
which
okay.
is out here, so. But I mean, I've seen some shit in that place, okay? I believe in ghosts. I've seen them, up front and in person. I've seen some weird shit, and I just believe in that. So, The Conjuring, yeah, that movie, it made me think about it afterwards. That's what I mean when I say it scared me. It made me think about it, like what this really is and what it could mean, and like, Sorry, Joe. I didn't mean to cut you out.
That's all right.
Yeah, I actually went to see that in the theaters, The Conjuring, and there was a couple parts in there that made me jump pretty good. Yeah, my wife, that was one of the few horror movies my wife went to see with me. I don't think she liked it too much. But
I almost put Annabelle 2 in my list yesterday or today.
For what?
For worst horror sequels.
What?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that movie. It's boring.
The second one?
Yeah, the second one. I like the first one better.
I like the first one.
But
I love the second one.
I didn't put it in there because it's really not one of the worst to me. It's like not. It's just there. But also, I couldn't figure out if that was actually a part 2 or like a part 4. Because that movie, it's like in a shared universe. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. If you look at it, it's actually part 2 of the Annabelle, whatever it
right.
is. But if you look at it as the Conjuring universe, then because now there's a new one coming out. I'm trying to think of the name of it. But
Well,
I've
there
seen
was the Nun.
for it.
So that's like the 5th one in the universe, and then there's the Slender Man, not Slender Man. That was the crap movie. It's an offshoot of Conjuring 2.
Ladorna or something.
Yeah.
Somebody explained that. I think it might have been Jen from Jen's Reviews from the Grave.
Okay, Death.
She explained what that was.
Yeah.
Somebody did.
And they're called, what are they calling that? The Warren verse or something like that? It's about all the stuff that comes out of the Warren files or whatever.
Right. Well, eventually they're going to have to get to Amityville because they were involved in that too.
Yeah, but that's already a franchise of its own.
Yeah, but I read the book, I saw the movie, and I've seen all the
Conjuring 2 is
from it. Yeah.
The Conjuring 2 is okay, but it was very much fabricated.
I've been to the real house, the real Conjuring house, because it's where I live.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah.
Really?
That's awesome. But yeah, the Conjuring 2, it was based loosely on their files, but that one was much more fabricated. So than part 1. So what's that like, Joe?
That's pretty cool. We drive by. A lot of people go by there.
Oh, yeah.
They have it sort of blocked off because obviously they get a lot of traffic, especially when The Conjuring first came out.
Do people live in it still?
I don't know, to be honest. It's like the way it's set back. It's like you can only get so far. You can kind of see it from the distance.
Yeah, my wife asked me if I would go trick or treating there. I said, "Yep, sure would."
Yeah, me too. That's the thing about it too is like I said, even though it gets to me and it kind of freaks me out a little bit, I'm the kind of person that will go and seek it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had also gone to the hospital where Session 9 was filmed before they tore that down, because that's not far from me either.
I'm still getting crap on my overrated list because of that one and Evil Dead 2 and.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I can't believe you put Evil Dead 2 on there.
Hey, I love it. I do. I love it. It just
Session 9 should not have been on there.
What's that?
I said Session 9. That was the one that got me.
Really?
I haven't seen that movie, so I couldn't speak on it.
I love Session.
I liked it a lot better the second time I saw it. But the first time I was just kind of like, didn't do much for me.
Roger, are you still in the chat?
Roger.
That was one of the conversations we were having this morning on his live stream was about, he thinks, like, he was saying that how people are giving Jordan Peele a lot of shit or whatever. And personally,
they're calling him the King of Horror now.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. That's pretty overrated. That's like a big statement.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, especially after just 2 movies. No.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's getting a lot of crap because of what he said about his actor.
Well, actually, I was a little bugged at him for that. I found that to be pretty fucked up, if you ask me. But
yeah, I mean it's frustrating.
What did he say?
He said that he'll never cast a white person in a lead role.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, here's where it's just the way he said it. That's a fucked up way to put it. If you're gonna make a movie about a black person or a black family, fine, cool, make that movie. If you're gonna make a movie about a white person or a white thing, fine, make that movie, cool.
But whatever. Don't set out to to not include somebody.
Yeah, especially when you say you want to do a new Friday the 13th film. What are you gonna do? Change Jason?
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, that did bother me a bit, and I was a little bugged by that. And I got into a conversation about it with a friend of mine, who just happens to be African American, and he was like, "Well, I don't know if I consider that racist. Just he's just saying he just wants to make black people stories." And I'm like, and that's cool. Make black people stories. There's nothing wrong with that.
But the reverse would be racist. That's the problem. I hate to be that guy.
And that was the point that I brought up. I said, but if I would have said that, or any other, if John Carpenter would have said that, he would have been called a racist.
Exactly.
I haven't seen Us yet. I'm hearing that it's genius. Everybody's talking about Us as genius. I thought Get Out. I finally watched Get Out the other night. That Get Out was overrated. I'm sorry.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Yeah, me too.
It's a good movie, but it's an overrated movie. Yeah. It's a good movie, though.
I thought it was really good, but I really was not blown away like everyone else was.
Yeah, that's an overrated film. I do not consider the Rocky Horror Picture Show a horror movie. I consider it a tribute to horror movies.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, I just like it's a tribute to sci-fi movies.
Well, I guess I would call it a horror musical.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to make a musical a horror film, so you're not going to get scared watching a musical. It just it would seem strange, I guess, but I would consider it a horror musical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, along the lines of better musical, which is Genetic. Or, the Genetic.
I still haven't seen that. In fact, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it off of Hamilton Book because it's only like $3.
Yeah. I love it. I think it's great.
I haven't seen Us yet either, so I don't want to know either. And I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not like somebody even asked somebody how is that not the most look forward to movie as a horror fan this year? There's other movies I have that I'm looking forward to more. Hell, the biggest movie I'm looking forward to this year is Star Wars.
Yeah.
As big of a horror man as I am, you put Star Wars out, I'm going to see Star Wars.
What do we say about talking about Star Wars, Brad?
Shut up, Jason.
Star Wars always makes an appearance in these streams somehow.
Fine, I will go to the corner.
Did I tell you guys I just picked up Solo? Speaking of Star Wars.
No. Yeah. See, Movie John said Us was weird. I mean, that's what I've kind of heard that too.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't know you picked up Solo. I still have to pick that up too, Jason.
I liked it. It's good.
Yeah,
it's not. It'll never replace Han Solo or Harrison Ford's Han Solo, but it was a good movie. Exactly, Cadaver Club. I am looking forward to Godzilla.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Good twist at the end.
I'm not even the biggest Godzilla fan. I like Godzilla, but I'm more of a newer Godzilla fan.
Yeah.
I need to go back and give all the older ones more of a shot, but I keep sending them all to Jason, so I don't know how I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
But,
I made a mistake when I was doing Lauren's was it Horror and Taj, or it was Lauren's contest, and I said that Us was my most anticipated movie of the year, but it's not. It's Godzilla, definitely.
Jason, are there any specific Godzilla movies you're still looking for?
Yeah. Godzilla versus the Smog Monster, or Badiante, or whatever his name is. That one's hard to find.
Well, I'm sending you a copy, so.
That one?
Yeah, I told you that.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I'm sending you a copy. It's a VHS copy, but I'm sending you one.
Yeah, that's good for me, man. That's good for me. Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna buy you the Blu-ray copy, but I didn't have $85 to spend.
It was only $85. Jeez.
Wow, Movie John has all 31 Godzilla on DVD.
Is there really 31 of them? I didn't know how many there were.
Wow.
Now that's just Godzilla. That's not the offshoots like Gamora, and there's 3 Mothra movies, isn't there? 3 or 4 Mothra movies?
Yeah.
And Gamoras and all the other stuff?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I just picked up King Kong on VHS the other day. King Kong, which one did I get?
King Kong Lives, I think is what
King Kong Lives, yeah. It was King Kong Lives.
That's actually a fun, silly movie, in my opinion. I liked it.
I asked Jason because I'm going to that store that I told you about tomorrow. I usually go on Saturdays.
Okay.
So I'll have a look around if there's any more too. I didn't know if there was any specific ones you were looking for because they usually have like a good amount of Godzilla tapes there.
I don't know. Brad's been sending me a whole bunch of them. So.
I still kick myself in the butt for not picking up that big lot that I found at Bethel that time, Jason.
Yeah.
I mean, I picked up a couple just because I thought they were the ones you were looking for.
Yeah.
And I picked up a couple, but there was like 15 of those movies, and I just left them there.
Yeah.
And
I'm still looking for the actual. I think they made 2 Godzilla animated series, and
Well,
every
have you
once in a
seen-
while, I find one of the volumes. Well, actually, I think they made 3 now because there's a new one.
the Netflix one is really good.
It is. It's really good. I watched
Mhm.
that one.
There
There
is
are 2.
there's an animated series based off the '97 Godzilla,
Right, the Broderick one.
where Godzilla was like a hero and he had little kids that followed him around as his best friends.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, but I like Godzilla, so I'll pretty much collect anything Godzilla. And there's also an older series. I think it might be called Godzilla King of the Monsters.
good night, Barry Pink, and hello. I didn't know you were there. Hello.
Hey, Barry Pink.
Yeah, I remember that, Jason, from the '80s.
Yeah.
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah, I remember. I do remember that. I don't. Yeah, Horror Freak. I saw that big Godzilla box set, and I was gonna pick it up actually for Jason on his birthday, and I went back to buy it, and it was gone. Like they're out of it already. It's called the Toho collection.
Yeah, that's a lot of the newer movies, I'm pretty sure. King Ghidorah, Destroya, Final War, Tokyo SOS, Mecha Godzilla is one of them.
I think the only Godzilla films I own are the original and the one that came out a few years ago. And that's it.
You know, Ben,
Yeah.
you're probably gonna crucify me for this, but I actually liked the when it first came out. I haven't watched it since it came out, but I liked the Godzilla '97 when it first came out. We saw it at the drive-in.
I didn't mind it.
You know,
It's not my Godzilla, but it's, it brought Godzilla back to the forefront.
Hashtag not my Godzilla.
Yeah, hashtag not my Godzilla. But at least it got his name back out there, and we're getting movies now, and that's
they were trying to upgrade it for that generation, which was
they were.
sleek and fast, and
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to show Ben something. Are you still here, Ben? Yeah.
yeah.
I'm going to show you guys something. I'll be right back.
Yes, dear. I know I'm old.
Not as old as me.
That's true. You old fuck.
Oh, I'm back.
Yeah, in fact, I got them sitting right here somewhere. Oh no.
So I was telling Joe that at my comic book store last week, they had a whole box of Fangoria magazines, older ones. So I picked it up. Wasn't really sure what was in there completely, but I knew some of it was in there. And it ended up being a pretty good find because I actually found this. I don't know if you can see this, Ben.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. The Fangoria Godzilla Super Special.
And it's got Gamera there on the side.
Yeah. And it has Destroy All Monsters on the back. So this is pretty much dedicated to just Godzilla. I was really pleased to find this. Yeah. Very cool. But yeah, a whole box of them he had old Fangoria magazines, and it's like just brings back so many memories. Looking at ads of VHSs coming out and new to VHS and DVDs, real small on the bottom.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
Yeah, it's just it's neat.
Well, after Godzilla '97, they went back to the old style and did Godzilla 2000.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I found a copy of that, but it's all fucked up, so I didn't buy it.
I think I have that one. I'm pretty sure I have that one.
Yeah.
I know
I
they.
found a copy on DVD, but the disc was fucked.
I know they have that tape at that store. I always see that one there.
Yeah. But yeah, I've always liked the Big Green Monster. That was my very first movie that I saw with my father. Godzilla versus Megalon, so it has a lot of sentimental value. But
That would be a cool thing to see, even though they're not in the same universe technically. I wouldn't mind them bringing the Meg into Godzilla.
Ben said he was looking at old Fangoria lots the other day. Yeah, I got a whole box of them here. I was thinking about showing them, but I didn't know if anyone would be interested. So I kind of haven't. But
good night, Jack. Thanks for joining us.
Good night, Jack.
Good night, Jack.
Yeah, I did too, Kelly, but I've only seen it the one time there in theaters when I was younger.
Yeah, I like the one with Matthew Broderick. I thought it was pretty good. Definitely not bad.
Yeah, Ben, I was telling Jason that store I'm going to tomorrow. I usually try to go there once a week, once every 2 weeks, and along with having a bunch of VHS tapes and DVDs and other stuff, they have boxes and boxes of old Fangoria magazines.
That's awesome. Yeah, definitely find out how much they are because I'm looking for certain issues that didn't cover this whole box that I have.
I have boxes in my house too. I can try to dig them out. I used to collect them. I used to just pick up like every Fangoria I could find, and whether it be the new issue that was out that month or old issues that I would find.
Yeah.
So I have a pretty big collection of them.
Yeah, I still get the new one. I get Rue Morgue, Horror Hound, and Scream, and the other one, which is SCREEM, which is just like the other one, but not so much. The one I actually started getting that I regret not following up with is Delirium, which came out from Full Moon. I believe they're still making it.
I've seen them around, yeah.
Yeah, I've like the first 6 issues of that, but for some reason my comic book store stopped getting them in, so I stopped getting them. But yeah,
I miss the days when you wouldn't have the internet, so it wasn't so easily accessible to check out new horror movies. There was something fun in getting the new magazines to be able to see the first images of upcoming films.
Yep, we're definitely in the know.
It made hunting for things a lot more. Not a horror movie, but I remember I was hunting for a CD, and it took me 10 years almost to find this CD.
Yeah.
And that was right before eBay became a thing, like really a thing.
Yeah.
So.
When Amazon just sold books when they first started.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I never got into oh man, that still pisses me off that bitch wouldn't let me do media mail.
Yeah, I don't understand that one, Brad. You've had a lot of problems with that.
Yeah, that freaking post office is crap. The ones here are crap.
Yeah.
But
yeah, they wanted to charge him. How much was it? Like $14 or something?
Well, they charged me $10 just to ship those freaking masks, and it wasn't even a pound. And then I sent you a package. I sent you a package. Well, see, I put a DVD in there too.
Oh.
I sent you a package, and they wouldn't let me. They didn't tell me, or they charged me like $10 for it, even though they had charged me $3 before.
Huh.
Yeah, they're just pains.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, I never really got into like the Fangorias and stuff, and it wasn't that I didn't like them. I just, when I was growing up and all, for me it was music magazines. So,
yeah.
Revolver and Circus and
Teen Beat,
all the metal stuff,
Yeah. For me, it was all the metal magazines.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I remember Hit Parader and Circus.
Revolver.
Yeah, there were some other ones too. Now I can't remember what they were called. Long time ago. Yeah. But now, physical media is dying, so
Don't say that.
It is.
It seems that way. I hope not. But as long as there's collectors out there, they'll put out stuff, though.
Yeah, but like, I mean, Fangoria went out, and now they're
Yeah.
finally back, but they're only putting out a magazine 3 times a year, I think it is. If
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken. And who would have ever thought that they would go out?
I know.
There's so much horror out there, and it seems like it's caught on so much, but
It has a bit, but horror is still the redheaded stepchild of the movie business. I mean,
oh yeah, sure, definitely.
you know,
It'll never get the recognition as other forms of film.
I guess for that, I will definitely give a big thank you to Jordan Peele and people like him. Also, James Wan. You know, guys that are crossing over from horror into other things, and they're bringing attention into horror.
Yeah.
You know, the more attention we get on horror, the more horror movies we'll get.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, I collected a lot of Playboys too.
Yeah, a lot of people don't consider Silence of the Lambs a horror movie, but I do.
See, I didn't for the longest time either, and I said that in why I almost didn't include Hannibal in my list the other day.
Right.
Because for the longest time I didn't consider them horror films. It wasn't until this latest time I was watching them again that I really thought, okay, yeah, there's horror aspects in there. You know, I would just consider them kind of like psychological thrillers almost, you know, but yeah.
Well, that's another like weird line, like horror and thriller. Like, what makes it a thriller? What makes it a horror? It's like, you know, someone may be watching a thriller and they find it more terrifying than I do, so they consider it a horror film. Whereas, you know, I only consider it to be a thriller because it's not that scary. But like you said, we're so desensitized to things that where do you even draw the line anymore with that?
And half the time, I can't even tell what's a thriller anymore. You know?
Yeah, that's what I mean. If I go to my local video stores, like you know that sell DVDs, typically thriller, horror, sci-fi are all in the same category.
Like Jason Bourne, is that a political thriller or is it an action movie?
Exactly.
You know, I mean, it's kind of both, but whatever, you know. Zodiac, the movie Zodiac, or even Seven. There's the one, Seven. I don't consider Seven a horror movie; it's a thriller.
I do.
But there are a lot of people. A lot of people consider Seven a horror film.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
So that's a good question to ask you then, Brad. How do you decipher thriller from horror?
Well, first off, I got to figure out if it's even a thriller.
Well, like Seven. So like Seven.
There's so many out there. Like, okay, it's it doesn't have any scary aspects to me. It's not a scary film. It's not.
Yeah, but what is scary to you?
It's more of an investigation film than a. That's the thing. Like with Silence of the Lambs. Silence of the Lambs is an investigation film. That's why I never considered it a horror movie.
All right, so then what about Giallo? Do you consider Giallo films to be investigation films?
Well, I gotta back off on that a little bit because I don't have a lot of Giallo experience.
Okay.
I have not seen a lot of those movies yet. I'm still working on them. I just really found out about them, you know, a year ago when I got into YouTube. You know, when I got into YouTube is when I started hearing about them. Now there was some movies, of course, I've seen Italian horror movies, but like the actual Giallo genre, I didn't really know anything about it, so I'm still working on that.
Gotcha.
But like Silence of the Lambs, right? I always considered it kind of a crime thriller kind of deal. You know what I mean?
Right.
And but then I was watching it this last few times, and the scenes where he's in Baltimore, in the cage.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he strings the dude up like on a cross and like an angel that his guts ripped out. That's fucking horror. The same thing when he hangs the dude in Hannibal or at the end where the pigs eat him. That's horror. Right. You know, so those are horror thrillers in my opinion now. But for the longest time, like I said, I didn't consider them that. Same thing with you know, Aliens was a sci-fi movie. Now I consider it kind of a sci-fi horror.
Yeah.
Right. Now Aliens Part 2 or Aliens, that's kind of an action, but whatever, you know.
It still has the horror element.
Yeah, it's still got the horror elements, but it was definitely, they really leaned on the action side on that one.
I agree with you.
But yeah, so I mean, yeah, I just with thrillers, for me, And I'm so weird about this too. There's so many types of horror movies out there.
Yeah.
But for me, slashers are my horror. You know what I mean? Like, slashers are my favorite. I love zombie movies. I like werewolves. I like vampires. I like everything out there. But slasher movies for me, that is where horror is for me.
Well, I think that's why Joe brought up the whole giallo thing, because do you consider a giallo movie a slasher? Now, I know you're not as familiar with them, but as you start to see more and more of them,
well, like Phenomena, that's a giallo and it's a slasher.
Right.
Like Deep Red.
I saw Suspiria once, like 20 years ago, but I don't remember much about it. Yeah, Deep Red is definitely a slasher. In fact, I almost thought about doing that for Bloody Week, even though it doesn't have the word blood or blood in it, Joe, because that's kind of what they're talking about in the title is blood. You know? But I almost did it, but I was like, no, that's not what he said. He said it had to be a variation on the word. So, you know. But yeah, I really want to see more Jalos. But I'll be honest with you, from the ones I've seen so far, I don't know if I'm gonna rate them as high as other people do. Like, I like a lot of Italian horror, but I don't have any Italian horror directors on my favorite lists of directors. Which I still need to get that video out.
Yeah, I just did my Italian one, and I haven't put it out yet.
See, I couldn't even give you top 5 Italian directors. I could name you 5 Italian directors that I've seen movies from.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that I really think they're all that great. I really like Lucio Fulci.
Yeah.
You know, I like Zombie. I love that fucking movie. You know, I like I really liked Adapt. Or not, wait. What the hell was that movie I did for Slashback a few days or weeks ago?
Absurd?
Not Absurd. Thank you. Not Adapt. Absurd. Yeah. Sorry, my brain just shut down for a minute. I really liked it, but there was issues I had with it, but I really liked it. Right. You know, I really liked Phenomena, but there's issues I had with it. You know, but even though I have heard that Phenomena is considered Argento's like worst film.
Huh?
I actually read that Phenomena, when I was researching it, all the reviews I read of it said that Phenomena is Argento's worst film. It's considered his worst movie.
Oh wow!
I've heard that about the movie Giallo.
Yeah, actually, it's not bad.
I like that movie. That's just what I've heard.
Yeah, but there's one called The Card Player that I've never seen.
Yep.
And if I take Dave's advice, the Suspiria remake is absolute shit.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch his video on that?
I did. Yeah. That was fun.
Yeah.
Where is Dave?
I don't know. I love it when Dave doesn't like something because he makes really funny videos about it.
Yes, he does. Yep.
Like, oh, there you go. Here's a controversial topic. Even though it's a Halloween movie and it's got Michael Myers in it, I don't consider Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 a slasher.
What?
I consider it a big pile of dog shit.
Do that again, Joe. I love that.
I'm just fucking around, Joe. I'm sorry. Every time I see the white horse come in, I think I'm watching Little House on the fucking Prairie.
Oh boy.
Or Excalibur, right?
Well, the mom in the white dress and all, I'm like, hey, it's Laura fucking Ingalls coming this way.
The Lady in the Lake.
Yeah.
Oh, that was great, Joe. That was priceless. What? Yeah, what did you call it? A hillbilly? Oh god, what did you call that? H2, a hillbilly. Help me out, Brad. What did you call it?
Which one?
H2.
I called it a lot of things.
Movie?
I mean, did you see what I called it in my last video?
Yeah. Yeah, but you called it a run amok or something before.
Yeah, I can't remember. I should start writing these things down.
There are some aspects of H2 that I actually like.
Yeah,
Many,
the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Oh yeah, that's brilliant. That
the
is
first, when they were doing Halloween 2, it was like, yeah, this could be good.
Yeah.
And then they just totally, like I said that in my review. I mean, I've never been so I don't get angry at movies, and I got angry at that movie.
I still swear that I saw a different movie when I saw it in the theaters because I remember liking it, and then yeah.
And I know Joe's being quiet because he likes the movie. So.
I do.
He's being quiet. It's like, just taking it all in. That's all right.
Talk, Joe. Talk. It's your channel. Tell us to shut up.
No, like I said, when I first saw Halloween 2 in theaters, I was very disappointed because I had loved the first. I loved Rob Zombie's first one, and I was just so disappointed, and I just couldn't wrap my mind around it, like what I didn't like so much. And then it came out. It was released on DVD and Blu-ray, and I picked it up the first day just because I had to have it for the collection. And I watched it again, and I was like, all right, it's not as bad as I remember it. And then I watched the director's cut because I had watched the theatrical cut again. And like I said, the more and more I watched it, the more I liked it. And I don't know, I enjoyed it a lot more than I initially did. There are certain things I don't like about it, obviously, but for the most part, I do. I mean, I don't even know how to explain that movie. I mean, it's very Rob Zombie, but at the same time, there's certain elements to it that are obviously different than his remake of Halloween. And I like the setting. I like he always has that grittiness to his movies, and it's weird because in his remake, I didn't necessarily think it fit because it was Halloween and it wasn't what I was expecting. Obviously, being a huge fan of the original,
right?
But then Halloween 2, I feel like he almost backtracked slightly from that, and it was just a regular Haddonfield town, but the people were the Rob Zombie characters. So I don't really know how to explain it. It's such a tough movie to describe, but I do like the setting. Like I like the Halloween party, the rave where they're dressed up as the Rocky Horror Picture Show characters.
Yeah.
There's a certain.
I like that whole concert scene. I think the concert scene is really good.
Exactly. Like there's something about it that's very Halloweenish to me, and it has like that good Halloween atmosphere. But at the same time, it's very uncomfortable, and I like that in a horror film. You just feel like there's so much going on, and you just feel like all the characters are just unsafe. And I really like that aspect of the film.
Yeah, there's definitely I like that part of it. I love the beginning. I think the beginning is brilliant.
Definitely, I love the hospital scene.
Yes, especially the whole Knights in White Satin.
Yes, that thing is my favorite part about the film.
Yes, yeah, me too. I like.
My
unfortunately,
favorite part about the film is still when the credits roll.
I like when Danielle Harris got killed, even though I didn't like when she got killed. But
yeah, me too.
Yep. The picking up the car and rolling it down the hill, See,
the thing with me, Joe, is I know exactly what he was trying to do with that movie. And I get exactly what he was going for, and it pisses me off even more now that I know what he was going for.
Explain.
He was trying to show people that he could do. All right, first off, as he said in numerous interviews, it's his movie and fuck you if you don't like it. Which really bothered me. He didn't want to do a part 2. Supposedly, that's one thing him and Carpenter have in common. Is he didn't want to do part 2.
Well, that's what I was going to, not to cut you off, but that's exactly why I don't blame him for saying that, what you just said, because he didn't want to make it in the first place. He was almost pressured into doing it, so I don't blame him for saying, you know what, you want me to do it, you're going to get the movie that I want to make.
But he said that about the first one, too, and I don't think it's a smart idea to tell your core audience to go fuck themselves.
I mean, it worked out for him because he made the money. I think it has its fans. There's definitely a lot of fans, at least, of his first remake.
It's not considered one of the more successful ones, but
I mean, it revitalized it for a while, though. I mean, you know, coming off of Resurrection, especially, and you know, people wanted a new Halloween film, and I think they were willing to take whatever they could get at that point.
Yep, I completely agree. I don't mind the Rob Zombie Halloween film. I don't mind that one.
What he tried to do, if you noticed in the second one, he tried to even tone down the potty language a little bit.
That's what I think. I guess that's what I was trying to say. Yeah, definitely backtracked a bit.
Because of the reaction he got from the first one, he tried to show people that he could make a movie that wasn't exactly like all his other movies, but then everything kind of backslid right back into its categories for him. He couldn't keep it up. He was trying to do this art house freaking Halloween, which does not work in Halloween for one. That's why there are white horses in there and the visions of the mother and seeing him as a little kid and the ending with Laurie sitting there looking like she's about to go on a killing spree.
I like that.
You know, I hated that. I'm like, that's why in my video I interspaced that the mom walking down the corridor with the horse. Because and I do it like every 5 seconds in the video because it was fun.
I like the version. I don't know which one. I always get confused between the director's cut and the theatrical cut, but I like the end when it has Love Hurts playing and it's like that really like slow version. And it's like zooming on Laurie. I do like that ending.
That's not, he really overused that song. Especially when he plays it during the stripper scene in the first movie.
Ah, yes.
You know? But yeah, and it did. It really even made me even more angry to think, really? Okay, I'm all for making a remake that's not a shot-for-shot remake and doing something on your own, but you're just trashing it now. And it just killed me that he could call himself a fan of Halloween, but at the same time trash everything there is about it.
Yeah, but I think that's why I like it. See, I know there are a lot of people who kind of go into movies like you do in that aspect. I think I look at it as Rob Zombie's Halloween movies don't change anything about the other Halloween movies.
No,
like
I
just look at
verse.
It's just like a separate entity. So I don't watch it thinking, oh, he ruined anything because it's like brand new. Like that's just his version of it. You know, it's like saying like, you know, Christopher Nolan ruined something about Tim Burton's Batman. Like they're completely separate. So I just look at it that way.
No, they're totally separate.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I just couldn't do it though, man. I still can't. I tried just like I do. I watch Halloween 3 once a year just to try and like that movie, and I just can't.
You watch Halloween 3 once a year?
Yeah.
Even though you hate it?
Yeah. In fact, I watched it twice last year.
He watches as a double feature with Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
I try to watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 once a year too, just to try and like it. Because all my friends say how great it is all the time. Even before I started YouTube, I have friends that love those two movies. And I try. I'm like, what are they seeing that I'm not seeing? And I just can't see it. You know?
Yeah, I get that. I mean,
I do. And like I said, I own 4 freaking copies of TCM2. I have 2 copies of Halloween 3. I'm going to have a third one because I'm going to get that steelbook just because I like the cover so much.
Yeah, the artwork's great.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But
I love the artwork for the second one, though. That one that you picked up is really, really awesome.
Yeah, that's the only reason I bought the TCM2. All the copies I got is because I love the artwork.
You don't like anything at all about Halloween 3?
Not at all. I hate that movie.
It feels so much like Halloween 2, though, like in the style.
No, it's not.
It
actually is.
Yeah.
They're nothing alike.
It actually is.
It really is.
They're not. Halloween 3 isn't even a slasher film.
No, but I'm just saying they feel the same. Like the music, everything about it.
The music to me isn't even the same. The music is the only good thing of part of Halloween 3. And it's just because it's typical John Carpenter music.
Well, well, to me, I always thought John Carpenter directed that movie.
Thank God he didn't.
When I was younger, I always thought it did because it does feel like, well, he didn't direct the second one, but it does feel like the second one to me.
It does.
Yeah. and it does have slasher elements in it.
I
You
hate that movie.
you have the guys in the suits.
Yeah,
that are,
the guys in the suits.
You mean the robots and the androids in the suits?
you
know,
get that as
that have no basis for being, and they're not even explained how they even exist in the movie.
I like
No,
it.
what's the girl's name? What's the girl that's way too hot for Tom Atkins that he should never get his hands on?
Oh,
But he's got the stash, though. He's got the stash, man.
Did you see what I put in the chat earlier? Tom Atkins has the most overrated mustache. Yeah, Team Sam Elliott over here. I like Tom Atkins in other movies though. I just like giving him shit, but the
oh yeah,
what is her name?
Not to interrupt you again. Did you see that the Horror Freak 85 just mentioned the Phantasm box set? Did you guys see that yet?
Yes, that is cool. That is cool. Look, and I saw it on oh, what the hell was I watching? Somebody showed off a preview of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks cool. There you go, Joe. We talked about this before. I don't consider Phantasm a slasher, but you do, right?
No, I don't consider it a slasher. I just said the only slasher element I could possibly see in it would be the Lady in Lavender and just those few scenes in the original. But other than that, I've never considered.
That's right. That's what you said.
Wait a minute, the Horror Freak 85. There's one coming out with a sphere. Isn't that the one that Arrow released a while back?
No.
That's
Go USA.
This has a replica sphere.
Yeah, Go USA, Jason. It's releasing. It's coming out in October. It's it's like an actual size sphere. It's region A. It's there's a new 4K scan of I think Phantasm 2. Some extra special features in there, and it comes in either a black box or a white box. You can choose which one.
Yeah.
It looks amazing.
The Screen Factory one just had the picture of the sphere.
Yeah, no, this is like legit, like actual like replica size sphere in there.
Yeah, because you've seen the Arrow one, right? That has the sphere with the discs inside.
I have the Anchor Bay sphere from back in the day.
Yeah, but I think Arrow made one. That's Region B.
Yeah, this is going to be a Region A one though.
Ooh. I might have to get that one.
Jason's creaming a little right now.
Yeah,
it looks great. It looks nice.
I still get crap for having 4 copies of Phantasm, 3 or 4.
Yeah, take a look at my Evil Dead shelf.
Yeah. Hell, even mine is getting big, Joe. And I'm not that's not even my favorite franchise. But my Halloween's,
Halloween 3.
I got 2 copies. I take it back. I have 3 copies. I bought that because I have the original Halloween 3 I bought in the single, the single DVD.
Yeah.
And then I have the Blu-ray box set that I just got, the Scream Factory box set.
Right.
And then I have Halloween 2 and 3 on a dual pack. And the only reason I bought it is that my original Halloween 2 disc was getting messed up.
Right.
So I needed the Halloween 2 disc out of it. I took the Halloween 2 disc out, and the Halloween 3 disc is actually in the case still in the garage with all my empty cases.
Yeah. You know how much it is, Joe, that Go USA thing coming out? Because Sal said it sounds expensive. And
they haven't they haven't given a price yet.
Oh, that's going to be so cool. Oh, man.
We know where Jason's money around October is going.
Yeah, well, the worst part is you have like a nutcase like me who's going to need to buy the black box and the white box.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
And I've got to start learning to, I always tell myself, I was talking to Andrew about this the other day. Jason, that Halloween 30th anniversary or 35th anniversary you got with the little head, the little Michael Myers mask?
Yeah, I got that one.
He got that too, and he was showing it off in his favorite box set videos.
Yeah.
And I was telling him how I literally had that in my hands. I was like, no, I don't need to spend the money right now. I don't need this right now. I'll put it back and get it later.
Hey, Andrew.
And then, of course, later never came because it went out of print. Hi, Andrew. So, and that's the same thing that happened with the big 15 disc set.
Yeah.
I saw it when it was first out, and I was like, oh, I'll get it later. And then even with this new one, the 10 disc set that I got, same thing. Oh, I'll get it later. And then bam, it was gone. So
Yeah, here's the set, but it doesn't have the actual DVD on the inside. I couldn't walk away from it. It was at Goodwill.
Yeah.
And yeah, I couldn't walk away from it. And I think, Joe, didn't you tell me you would look out for one for me if you ever found one?
Yeah, I haven't. I have never seen one again.
Yeah.
They don't pop up too often.
I'm waiting for one of y'all to find me the 15 disc set.
Oops.
I don't like
Yeah.
at a Bethel for $10. You know?
Yeah. But there it is, Andrew.
Yeah. And then I was thinking about this box set video challenge that Wicker Boy did, and I want to show it. But one of the box sets that I actually wanted to show, I can't show off because I took all the discs out, put the discs in a book, and put the box set in the garage.
Which one is that?
I wanted to show off my Omen Blu-ray box set. I like that. That's one of my favorites.
Oh, I got that too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, I love that box set. I think it looks so cool. It's so nice. So
Right,
I'm going to
does
show off
that-
a few I got here in the house.
My wife said maybe you put it under your bed last time you went to hide from it.
No,
Does that have the fourth one in there? The fourth movie, The Awakening?
no, it's 1, 2, 3. And
Oh,
then,
I have one with the
1, 2,
Awakening.
3 in the remake.
Yeah.
I can show you the disc. They're right over here in the book, but no, it doesn't have that with it.
I actually
Okay.
don't mind the fourth one.
Andrew, we were talking about the new Phantasm set coming out in October. They're releasing it with a replica size sphere and the like a new 4K scan of Phantasm 2, some new features, and they're releasing it in a white box and a black box.
Yeah. So what would I get, the white box or the black box? Probably the black box, I guess.
I'm gonna get both and put them right next to each other.
Yeah, I still have to do that tag for Wicker Boy, but
Yeah.
I was trying to think of something different to show because I've showed my Puppet Master Toulon's trunk. I've showed my Halloween box set so many times. Yeah, so I was kind of thinking of something different to show.
And see, the ones I have that I'm going to show aren't going to be anything super fancy,
Yeah.
but they're just my favorite ones that I like. But like I said, a lot of my good ones, like my really one that I would like to show is my, maybe I could go over and grab Bill's. He's got one too. But the Nightmare on Elm Street box set, the original DVD box set that forms the collage on the back.
Yeah, I get.
I love that, but I took all the discs out, put them in the book, and it's out in the garage.
Yeah, the Horror Freak
I'd have to
85.
go through all kinds of shit to find it.
The Friday the 13th tin. That's another good one.
Yeah, I've got that. I've got one of those box sets up here, the 8 movie collection.
I got the tin which has all the movies on Blu-ray, and then I have the one with the mask, the Jason mask too.
I wish I had the 10. The 10 is so cool, and I passed up on that one.
I don't have any of those. That's
That
awesome.
tin's expensive now too.
It is. It's like $400, $500, $600.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I got it for like
Did he say it had to be
$60
horror
at Best
box?
Buy.
I think maybe I'll show off my Grindhouse collection, the Cannibal Holocaust, maybe the Pieces, maybe the
nice.
I got the Beyond. Because I like the box sets. I think they're really nice because they come with the soundtracks and all.
Yeah.
But like I said, the other ones I've showed off so many times.
Yeah, Andrew, but like I said, sometimes I just can't afford it at the time, or I just don't need to spend the money. You know, I don't. I got things I don't need to spend money on sometimes, but even though I want them, you know.
Yep.
So.
Yeah,
And it is kind of hard to justify when you already have like 6 copies of the movie.
very, very true.
I just hate that regret of like when I see something and then I end up wanting it later on, and it's like I should have just gotten it because I'm going to end up spending the money on it anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
But like I said, I'm patient and I can usually wait and find it. I usually score pretty good deals, you know.
Yeah, I try to get the deals. Like I said, the Friday the 13th tin, I had gotten that on sale for like $50 or $60 at Best Buy at the time.
Oh, come on, Joe. Come on.
And the same thing with the Halloween set, the Halloween Scream Factory set, I got during that time when they had the issue on the website, and they were selling it for like $30 or something like that.
Wow.
Oh. Yeah, that tin is gonna torture me forever.
The tin is almost perfect, except for they don't have the unrated cut of Jason Goes to Hell.
Didn't Dave pick one up not too long ago at FYE, and it was on sale as well?
Oh, I don't know.
He did a video of it. He didn't pay much for it.
Who did?
Dave, I think he picked it up.
Yeah, that was a lunchbox. That was the lunchbox.
Oh, that was the
Oh, yeah,
lunchbox.
lunchbox.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's the FYE prices. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it wasn't very much. It was on sale.
Yeah, I see that sometimes, that lunchbox.
That's cool
It
too,
looked
though.
pretty
That's
cool.
cool.
Yeah,
Like I got my Planet Terror lunchbox box set over there.
Hmm.
Really?
But yeah, it's a little beat up, but yeah, I found it at a secondhand store.
Yeah.
It's got the Planet Terror lunchbox and it had the DVD in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't really hear people talk about those movies anymore. I still like them.
Which one?
The both the Planet Terror movies, or the Planet Terror and the
Death Proof?
yeah, Death Proof.
Yeah, a lot of people consider Death Proof to be Tarantino's weakest film, but I really like it.
I like it too, but I
I
like
think it's
Kurt
good.
Russell. So, yeah.
I don't know. It'd be hard for me to pick his weakest film because I liked his movies a lot. It may even be Death Proof. It's just because all his other movies are so freaking. But I don't know. That's a hard one to do.
Yeah, I was when I reviewed that Fort Yuma Gold the other day, I was surprised how much that scene resembled the Hateful Eight.
It does. I like that movie.
Yeah, I
Oh,
do too.
excuse me. I'm sorry.
But yeah.
I agree, Horror Freak. Adulting sucks.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
But yeah, I've got a lot of good box sets that are actually just sitting out in my garage right now. Somewhere in either a box or a big trash bag. I'd have to go through them all to find them. But I have the discs all in here in books. My Leprechauns, my Screams, my Halloweens, or not Halloween's, Nightmare on Elm Street, Omen, the Saw. I bought the Saw collection, you know.
Yeah.
What really bothers me, and we talked about this during that the James Bond live stream, is I'll go to find all these films in a franchise, and I'll just buy the very last one, even if I got good deals on them or not. And then they'll put out like a collection box set or something. I'm like, really?
Yep.
I just bought all these. You couldn't have done it like 2 months earlier?
Always.
Yep. It would be nice to get a good Nightmare on Elm Street set from Shop Factory. Screen
I know.
Factory. That would be nice.
The one in the white, the Blu-ray white, I haven't got that. A buddy of mine's got it, but it doesn't have a lot of good stuff on it. But it's a Blu-ray set.
I think the best thing about that set is it comes with 2 episodes of Freddy's Nightmares.
Yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah, it's like the special features on there. It comes with 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Yeah, I knew we picked that up, but I didn't.
Hey, Ron.
I have all of them, and I can't see spending that money when I knew somebody's going to do it. Somebody's got to do a good Nightmare on Elm Street set.
All right. Hey, Ron.
I don't know what the holdup is.
Yeah.
Hey, Ron, I don't know either. Maybe it's rights or something. Who knows?
I do like the look of the Nightmare on Elm Street set they have at Walmart, the DVD one.
Oh, yeah, my son has
It's
that
like
one.
shiny red and black. That's a cool looking set. It looks good.
Yeah, that's one my son has.
I passed up on the one where it makes a collage of his back.
Yeah, I got that one.
Yeah, I've got that one.
I passed up on that. It was $10 at a pawn shop. Should have bought it.
Oh, yeah, I would have.
I should have, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's snapper cases, but it's still pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I like the collage it makes on the back, though. But I already had the movies.
And those actually have decent special features. I mean, for the time that they came out.
Yeah, it has that bonus disc, too. It has, like, the maze through the boiler room.
Yep, the bonus disc and the little...
It's like an interactive. You use the DVD remote. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I wish they put out is the Freddy Nightmare show, like in a box set, and also the... Even though I wasn't a big fan of it, the Friday the 13th show.
I got that.
You know.
$32.
Really?
Yeah, the complete series is like between $30 and $32.
Yeah, I got that a couple of years ago. It's pretty good. I like that set.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't done Freddy. Maybe there's something to having to do with the rights to it or something.
I think so, because they released like the 5 episodes on the VHS back in the day, and then those 2 episodes on the Blu-ray box set. So they only released 7 episodes in total.
Right, and I was kind of wondering whether Alone in the Dark kind of fell in that trap too, because it's New Line Cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's owned by Bob Shea. So.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So let's get back to like a slasher topic. I wanted to ask everyone, you guys too, if anybody has any ideas for some future themes. I'm not saying it's going to be next week or the week after, but I want to open that up to any ideas for future slashback themes. What would you guys like to see?
Viewer's choice.
So anything?
I actually have a few ideas. I'm trying to narrow it down to one to give you.
Supernatural slasher.
Okay. Like I said, anyone in the chat too, if you have any ideas for future slashback themes. I have themes picked out for the rest of the year, but I can always replace and move things around. So
Slashers on a shoestring budget. All of them, right?
pretty much.
Evils of the Night. Ron finally got to watch that. What did you think of that, Ron? This ought to be good. I actually liked Evils of the Night. It's very different. Yeah. Yeah, have you ever seen that one, Joe? Evils of the Night?
I don't know. It sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's yeah, it is. It's fun.
I'm looking it up right now.
It's basically like a
Oh, I've seen this years ago.
yeah. A lot of TNA, a lot
Yep.
of I think the director was a porn director, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that happens a lot.
Well,
There you go,
also
Joe. There you go. Slasher
Yeah.
movies from ex-porn directors.
There we go.
Joe D'Amato, yeah.
All right, there's some ideas from Andrew. Nice. A lot of those are definitely coming too. So
Yeah, I figured you'd already have holiday. I was backwoods slasher. I was gonna say hillbilly slasher, but that's about the same.
And there's another one. You can see Wrong Turn a slasher.
The Wrong Turn movies?
Yeah.
I honestly don't know.
I was gonna say that's a good one for you, Brad, because you said the thing about one killer.
Yeah, I love those movies, but I don't know if I would consider them slasher movies based on that criteria.
Well, what else would they be?
Cannibal film?
Yeah, cannibal film.
Hillbilly.
Cannibal and gore fest. I mean,
I consider them slashers.
I do too. I mean, again, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre is also cannibal film, but it's also a slasher.
yeah.
There you go. Slasher set in high school.
Oh, that's definitely coming.
Yeah, Jason Allen. That's a good one. Yep, I agree with you, Andrew.
I want to see a sci-fi slasher. Week.
Predator.
I have my movie picked out for that week already.
Yeah,
Okay, so that one's coming. Okay, let's see.
Leprechaun in Space.
Jason. Oh, there we go. There's a good one. We could do foreigns. Well, you already did. No, you didn't do foreign slashers, did you?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Foreigns. That would be kind of cool. People like Andrew or and Adam, they could do stuff that's made either in Europe or in America.
I got my
we
movie.
We could all do stuff that's like either Australia or European or something.
Yeah. I just got that. I was like, okay, yeah, they're yeah, I get it now. I'm a little slow today.
20 minutes away from Slashback Saturday here.
I know. 21.
For y'all, yep.
Getting there.
Anybody watching March Madness?
What are we talking? Which March Madness are you talking about? The basketball?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Andrew, that's coming up. I was actually going to do that 2 or 3 weeks ago because I had a movie in mind I wanted to watch, but I ended up saving that theme for later on.
Me too. We're probably going to review the same one, Joe.
I might do one that I just watched that we talked about earlier. He does have a mask, but he also does it without the mask.
Trying to think of what that is.
I know, me too.
Talked about it earlier.
I just saw it for the first time like a week ago. On Shudder, I told you about it.
Oh, all right.
Sure. All right, you got to give me another hint.
Andrew said we better not review this movie. He will be doing for Unmasked Killer.
It takes place in the same universe as Freddy, Michael, Jason, and Chucky.
Leprechaun?
No. I just saw it for the first time. I told you how impressed I was with it. And how it's such a unique take.
You know what it is too, don't you, Joe?
Oh, yeah, I know what it is.
I'm like having a brain fart for some reason.
I guess you'll find out when he does it for Flashback.
I guess so.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man.
But Andrew, you missed it earlier. Earlier, I was saying the theme for this upcoming week is going to be a nice, easy theme. You know, some weeks are going to be harder than others, but this week sort of ties into what we were discussing earlier. It's going to be a very broad theme. There's going to be a lot of choices, so this should be an easy one.
I'm still waiting for Andrew to do Nightmare Beach on one of his flashbacks. Because he's the one that actually got me into that movie. I'd never even heard of it before.
I got the tape, Welcome to Spring Break, under that title.
Right. Yeah, I'd never even heard of it before he mentioned it. And I actually really liked it. I thought it was a fun movie. But I guess that would work for unmasked slashers. He does have like a motorcycle helmet on.
There's a lot of unmasked slashers, though. I mean, you got like Slumber Party Massacre.
Right. Final Exam.
Yep.
Hell, the one I'm doing.
Friday
the one I'm doing this week, the guy doesn't have a mask on.
Happy birthday to me. Thank you. Thank you, Andrew. Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Technically, Nightmare on Elm Street's a maskless slasher.
Exactly.
True.
He doesn't wear a mask.
Well, that's why I said Friday the 13th, the original one. This is why he's not wearing a mask.
No.
There's Sean.
Sometimes I try to do themes too where you can incorporate movies that you haven't seen and then other themes where you actually have to choose a movie that you have seen, because if someone's watching a slasher for the first time, how are they supposed to know if it's going to be an unmasked slasher or not? So that's why I try to switch it up. I mean, some weeks, you know, there will be themes like that where you basically have to choose something that you've already seen. But I like to have themes where, again, you can choose something that you're watching for the first time, so you don't really need to know if the killer's unmasked. If you don't have to know certain specifics about the film. So this upcoming week is going to be a good example of that. This upcoming week, you can definitely use this as an opportunity to watch a slasher film that maybe you haven't seen before, and when you hear the new theme, you'll understand why.
Right.
Yeah.
There's an idea, Joe. It might be a tough one to do, though. I was just thinking it may be too hard for people. If you did, like, we were talking about independent slashers or slashers on a budget or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Slashers with budget under $10,000.
That would be that would definitely be tough.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots. I can think of like 3 right now, but there's, you know.
Well, Groundhog.
I was also going to do themes like slashers that have like a rating like under 4.0 on International Movie Database, and slashers that have a rating say like over 6.5, because they're usually not rated that high. But it would be interesting to see people's opinions on slasher films that are ranked, pretty poorly, but many times those are the slasher films that I love that I have a lot of fun with. So
You and me both. You and me both.
could be cool.
I always like to look at the Internet Movie Database to see what they rank something,
Me too.
see what they rate it, and I'm like, really? That's ridiculous. I've liked movies that were ranked like 2.1 or 2.3.
Yeah, no kidding.
I just think it's criminal.
Yeah, like Jason Allen just said, Cobra is kind of sort of a slasher. I mentioned that earlier, actually. Yeah, to me, I definitely consider Cobra to be a slasher. I mean, the killer in it calls himself the Night Slasher. So Cobra is definitely a slasher. Scream Factory released it. There's a special feature right on the Blu-ray called Stalking and Slashing.
Yeah.
So yeah, Cobra to me is definitely a slasher film.
You know that flea market that I always go to on the weekend that I tell you about, Joe?
Yeah.
They have that knife there. Because there's a whole bunch of different vendors there. And when you first walk in the place, there's I think she's a Chinese lady who has a bunch of different knives. And I always stop and look because I like knives and I think a lot of them are cool.
Mm-hmm.
And they have that one there, or it's very similar to it.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Slashers. There you go, Phantom. That's a good one.
Yep. Something like that's definitely coming. I might incorporate that into like the supernatural slasher. I don't know yet if I was going to do two separate ones.
Now, would you consider Chucky a non-human?
Yeah, well, he's a killer doll. Yeah. He wasn't human, but
I would fit that. I would fit that in the theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like we discussed earlier, for me, a slasher has to be at least partly human. I agree with Brad on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't consider I don't personally consider like Grizzly or Jaws a slasher film, but
okay.
Like Leprechaun's not a human at all, but he does have a human personality. Not personality, may not be the word, but like.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, he can talk and everything.
Yeah, and he's got 2 legs and he runs around and.
Yeah, he's got a personality. He can talk. He can communicate. He can like stalk, that sort of thing. Like, like something like Grizzly and Jaws to me are like killer animal films.
Yeah, animals run amok.
Exactly.
Hey, with the new Child's Play coming out, we could always do a robot slashers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Chopping Mall, like Ron mentioned, is non-human too. I mean, they're programmed by humans. I don't know. It's weird. Chopping Mall is an interesting case, like we talked about earlier. I mean, to me, it's definitely a slasher film, but it's very different from a lot of others because it's killer robots.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean brought up a good one. He said like Hell Knight. Now, I was always under the impression that Hell Knight were humans. They were the Mongoloid kids of the. And now I can't remember the name of the family.
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree.
I thought they were human.
I agree.
See, we were talking about again. I was thinking about what we were asking about Wrong Turn. Like Hills Have Eyes. Do you consider those slashers? Because I don't.
No.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. A lot of people do. So I mean, that's another one that goes both ways. I mean, the Hills Have Eyes to me is sort of like. And almost in that Texas Chainsaw Massacre universe. I mean, again, it's another family that's killing people and eating them.
If TCM didn't have Leatherface, I probably wouldn't consider it a slasher.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
So,
Deadly Friend, very good, Sean. Yes.
Yeah, but then there's like Hollywood New Blood. And that's a slasher film. I mean, pretty much everybody that I know that's seen that film considers that to be a slasher film. And that's multiple killers. There's not one that really stands out. So again, it's like, I don't know where I stand on that, one killer or multiple killers thing.
Right. Yeah, I consider Wolf Creek a slasher. Most definitely.
I don't know.
You don't consider Wolf Creek a slasher? I'd say mixed slasher. Just because he uses a gun don't mean he's not a slasher. I mean,
yeah, I mean it's like Don't Go in the House. So,
I mean, you get the On the Dreaded Sundown.
Yeah,
he got a gun too. So
yeah, so does Art the Clown, and I think Art the Clown's a slasher.
Yep.
Right. Exactly. Wow. Yeah, I guess Wolf Creek could be a. Yeah, I guess.
Like I say, he's one of those people who likes to play with his victims. You know,
Yeah, maybe I always considered that like survival horror. I don't know. It's yeah.
I think with me, I think I almost separate horror into not maybe I don't separate into as many categories as others. You know, like to me, I
Yeah.
feel like there's like vampires, there's werewolves, there's witches, there's slashers, there's supernatural, and I feel like those are kind of like my main five, maybe, or and killer animals. So my main six.
mhm.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like
You know, you're right about that because they do have so many more subgenres now, like home invasion and torture porn and
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah, they do have a lot more subcategories now.
so it's like I
Zombies.
try to figure out like how many categories do I like? How many categories can you consider one movie? I mean, so many movies can fit into so many of those categories.
Yep.
You can have a creature feature that's also a slasher film, that's also a home invasion film. You know, you can have three things in one.
Yep. A lot of people consider Jason a zombie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the later movies, yeah, kind of.
Yep.
Or, well, I mean, I don't know if he's actually a zombie. Will we call him Zombie Jason because he just kind of moved that way and, you know, kind of, you know, he's different than he was before, you know.
You have like I Spit on Your Grave. You know, someone had done that for Slashback, and it's interesting because it's a revenge film, but at the same time, it's a reverse slasher. So,
Right.
like the original victim goes and starts killing off, you know, the tormentors one by one.
But
Yeah.
see, and that's the thing, like me, I wouldn't have put it as a slasher. That's just me. That's not a slasher to me. She didn't have the evil intent to begin with, or, you know, but like, and then again, too, well, then, you know, that's not true because I consider Creeper a slasher.
There you go.
And he did do that. That's, you know, so, I mean,
Yeah, it basically comes down to whether you consider it a slasher or not. It's a slasher.
It's just interesting.
see,
You know, I can
Yeah.
separate.
the thing about Creeper for me was is that like he disappeared for a year, came back with the intent to kill.
Right.
You know, like it wasn't just all. It wasn't like I Spit on Your Grave is all right then. You know what I mean? Like it all happens to her, and then she goes right after them. You know.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I can see that. I can see it being a slasher. I can see. That's why I never really fault anybody's picks that they pick because somebody
people-
considers I Spit on Your Grave a slasher, and then
Yeah.
it's a slasher. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if people consider whatever movie they wanted a slasher, then it's a slasher to them. Who am I to
Right.
tell them it's not? You know.
Exactly.
I mean, I might tell them that I don't personally consider it one, but I'm not going to be like, no, it's not. Don't do it. So, Andrew Bellina brings up the movie Tenebrae, and that's how I hear everybody say it. But isn't it actually pronounced Tenebra?
Tenebrae. That's the way I've always heard it.
Yeah, Tenebrae is how I've
That's
always
how I
heard it.
hear it, but the way it's spelled in Italian, it should. I think it's supposed to be Tenebra, but maybe it's not. I don't know.
Isn't that the one where the guy quacks like a duck? Or is that the New York Ripper? I always get the two mixed
I
up.
haven't seen that movie, so
The Goonies is a slasher.
oh,
I think Tenebrae is the one where the guy quacks like a duck. I'm pretty sure.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's a good one.
I gotta send you this Terror at 10 Killer, Joe. What do
Yeah,
you think? Is that a slasher?
that's definitely a slasher. I love that movie.
Oh, Joe, did you get to watch my pickup video? Oh, not even a week ago, maybe. Yeah, maybe a week ago.
I'm sure I did.
What
No.
movie was I picked up? What was it called? I might have put it away, and I don't have it sitting here. Oh, it's in the bag. White of the Eye. White of the Eye. Have you seen that?
I'm not sure if I saw it.
The cover and all looks like a horror movie, and it's about a serial killer. But I don't know if it's a horror movie or a thriller. It's got it's a white cover and it's got blood dripping across it.
What year is it from?
It's definitely an 80s or maybe even 70s film. Hang on, let me grab it out here.
Scream Factory released it.
Oh,
Been a while.
1987. Yeah.
There you
Yeah,
go.
Scream Factory released that on Blu-ray.
Yeah, that's probably where I saw it before.
And when I actually had you in mind when I found this one and picked it up, I was like, that just looks like one of those obscure slashers that maybe Joe might know about that I've never heard of.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it myself, but
Yeah, Scream Factory put it out. I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago. I think.
It's a Palisades Entertainment release.
awesome.
Oh,
It's
that's
a video
pretty cool
store.
cover. That's the VHS cover.
Yeah, it's a video store release too. It's got a video store sticker on it right there.
Oh, that's cool.
US Video. But yeah, I found that. I was like, oh.
Yeah. I was trying to think of what I was going to tell you about that. Another one that got released around the same time as that was a movie called Eve of Destruction with come on.
Yeah, I got that.
Gregory Hines. Is that considered a slasher?
I've never considered it a slasher. I haven't
What's
seen
that?
it in years though.
Yeah, I have the DVD. I haven't watched it.
Any of you guys seen this one?
I've seen that around.
What's it called?
Crazy Lips.
Crazy Lips.
No, I've never heard of that.
I still haven't seen it either. It's from the people that did Ring, Juwan, and Audition.
Ooh.
But according to what Bill tells me, this is one of the most fucked up movies he's ever seen. So I've been meaning to watch it and I haven't got around to doing it. I'm pretty sure it's a slasher. The brother's accused of a vicious killing spree, and I think the sister ends up starts to killing people.
Huh.
So I was just curious if you guys had seen it.
No, like I said, I've definitely seen the DVD around, but I've never actually seen the movie.
White of the Eyes is an American crossed with a Giallo. Oh, okay.
3 minutes for Slashback.
I'm uploading my video right now.
I can't. I can't really get off.
I gotta wait till midnight.
Oh, that's right. You still got 2 more hours.
Yep.
And 3 minutes.
Thank God, because tomorrow's Saturday and I have to work tomorrow.
Do you?
Yeah, for just till noon, but still. I hate working on my freaking day off, man.
Flea markets are starting around here tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to go tomorrow, though. Yeah, yard sales, rather. But,
yeah, I found a lot of good stuff at yard sales last year. I found a lot, like a big Stephen King book, a bunch of Stephen Kings, all kinds of stuff.
Right.
Very cool.
Cadaver, I actually just watched 3 of your videos earlier. Was it, I think, last night or yesterday? Or no, actually, I think I watched them on the toilet this morning. Sorry, but I left you messages. I don't know how I missed them, bro. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, yard sales. Sometimes you can find good stuff at yard sales. I had a few. What do you call them? White whale yard sales where I found a whole bunch of good stuff, but they're few and far between.
Yeah, I find good stuff at yard sales.
I always like to find somebody that's selling their horror collection.
Good night, babe.
Good night, Miss Bronco. Yeah, are you guys hanging around, or are we going to call it quits at?
I'm good. It's up to y'all.
definitely up to you guys.
I don't mind talking for a while. That's up to
Yeah,
you.
I can go a little bit longer.
All right.
But
So,
I'm an old man.
All right, we'll do
you're like 6 hours past your bedtime.
I know. I'm telling you, man.
I'm supposed to go to bed at like 6 o'clock in the afternoon, have dinner at 2, you know.
I know. I took a nap earlier, so now I'm really tired. And so did you, Joe. You're getting to be old, man.
I know.
Fall asleep during the day. I'm starting to actually not do that now.
Yeah, Andrew, I commented on Andrew's video earlier. I get excited when I see the early uploads because I know it's like officially Flashback Saturday, even though it's only Friday here.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I do too.
Yeah, every time I see them for just a split second, I forget where they're at.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's not Saturday yet.
Well, for anyone who's interested, my flashback video is uploaded officially now.
Uh-oh.
It's up there.
Bloody Birthday never really crossed my mind, and when I saw that Andrew picked it, I was like, heck yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. There's so many slashes with the word blood or bloody and all that in there.
Yeah. See, now, with me knowing you the way I know you, Joe, I figured that you would have probably waited to do the whole blood thing until Blood Lake came out.
Yeah, I just figured I had already reviewed that movie, and I've obviously talked about it so many times.
True.
And I don't know. Like I said, usually one theme transitions into the next, and I think what it was too, the way I have my my VHS tape set up, I have instead of like putting them all by like in alphabetical order and keeping it boring like that, I sort of have they all sort of like flow. So like any movie with the word house in it is together. So like I have like boarding house next to the fun house, next to the ghost house, next to slaughterhouse, like sort of like that.
I could do that. I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. I would just see house.
So so when I did that with when I did Phantom Brother last week, you know, Phantom Brother was next to Phantom of the Opera, Phantom of the Mall, Phantoms, you know, all together. And then I realized there's a lot of movies with the word blood in the title are bloody. So that's sort of what made me think of that, and I just made that the theme.
Yeah. That's another one that I guess I used to watch Moods a lot. I used to watch a lot of his videos.
Yeah.
And one of the things he would always say was he was obsessed with picking up horror movies with the word "don't" in it. Like, don't go in the house.
Yes. Yep.
Don't go near the park.
Don't go in the woods.
Right.
Don't go in the basement. Yeah.
You could always even make one of the themes that has "don't" in it.
I'm gonna pick up horror movies that have the word "the" in them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I have some like that together. Like I have like the burning and the triangle and whatever, you know, the pit. I have the pool. I have like a lot of those together too.
You really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. What about one that has to do with fire?
Well, I show like my VHS collection, just how it flows. It's pretty cool.
You know, speaking of the pool, Jason, I'm probably one of the few people that knew which movie you were talking about when you were talking about that movie, The Swimming Pool.
Oh, that movie sucked.
It's different. My boss loves that movie.
Swimming Pool?
And the one from Europe with the girl that goes over, the writer that goes over to stay in Europe, and
yeah,
the daughter shows up.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was a movie I watched the whole thing, and I'm waiting for something to happen, and nothing really does.
Yeah, I was too. I was like, where's the big, you know?
Right. And I'm like, well, there's an hour and a half of my life I'll never get back. I could have been watching a horror movie instead of this one.
Yeah.
Ron said that he saw Star Wars in the theaters. So did I.
Old fuck.
Many times.
I did too, in 1997 when it came out as special edition.
There you go.
I saw it then too. I did. That was
and I got to
else.
see I got to see it right before they released the special editions. when they were doing the original editions without the changes.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
Huh.
They only did it for a week. The week before they released the special editions in theaters, they did the original ones and they put them up.
Now,
It
you
may have been a
guys may
local
not-
thing.
You guys may not remember this, but I know Ron will, and Jason Allen said he was 43, so he might remember this too. But do you remember when movies used to go back into the theater after so long? Like Star Wars actually was in the theater probably 3 times, maybe 4 times before all the special edition stuff.
They still do
They
that
kept
if they're
bringing it
really
back.
popular. Like
Uh,
Avatar went back to theaters.
yeah, that's a different. Yeah,
Star Wars Episode 1, Phantom Menace went back to theaters.
did it really?
Yeah, so did Titanic. I think Titanic went back to theaters.
Yeah, but I remember Star Wars got put in the theaters 2 or 3 times, and I saw it every time it came out.
I saw Phantom Menace not too long ago in theaters. We went and saw it when they released it in 3D. And
Oh, really?
they were going to release all the rest. Yeah, my wife and I went. In fact, there's a little. Is it up there? Yeah. Let's see. Up there where these pins are, there's a
Yeah.
little heart one that has R2D2 and C3PO.
Yeah.
And we bought that there. They were to benefit charity. I bought 2 of them. And
yeah, didn't they release the rest of them in 3D?
they were going to, and the 3D craze started to die down a little bit, and it didn't do very well. And it really didn't add anything to the movie, in my opinion.
Right.
I mean, it was
right.
cool to see it in theaters again, but it really didn't add anything to the film. So
Probably because it was originally shot that way.
yeah. So yeah, but I was like, well, that's cool. At least I got to go see it again, you know.
Yeah. I saw it
Good
at a
night,
drive-in. Good night, Andrew.
Right, Andrew.
Yeah, I actually saw Phantom 1 with my daughter and my cousin for the first time when it came out. And then we went to see it again because my wife hadn't seen it. We thought that she should see it. I don't think she really cared, though, but we went to see it at a drive-in.
They may have had more success if they would have released the original trilogy in 3D first.
Yeah.
You know, even though it's gotten a little bit more respect lately, Phantom Menace is still considered not one of the better films.
Well, the first 3 aren't considered great films. I love them. But
Well, a lot of people now consider Part 3 to be one of the top films, but I really like Phantom Menace. I like them all. I mean,
me too.
hey, we're talking about Star Wars again.
Yep.
Hey, you-
Definitely, Andrew. Definitely.
Yeah, I've seen every Star Wars movie in the theaters, actually.
Wow.
I technically I have, if you consider the special editions as seeing them in theaters.
Yeah, actually, no,
But-
all of them were original releases.
But yeah, the original release, no, unfortunately. The first 3 I did not. The third, I mean, when Return of the Jedi came out, it was what? Return of the Jedi was 1985?
3.
1983, yeah. I mean, I was only
Yeah.
2 years old, so I didn't see it in theaters. If I did, I
Yeah.
don't remember. You know? But, hey, I did see Bon Jovi in theaters when I was like 6 months old.
Bon Jovi
Yeah,
in theaters?
or not in concert. Sorry,
Oh, okay.
The Bon Jovi.
my parents couldn't get a babysitter.
Yeah, my wife saw him in concert. She saw the New Jersey tour, I think it was. I think it was the New Jersey tour she saw.
Oh wow, I love Phantom Menace. I think it's a great movie. Still, in my opinion, has the best saber battle in the entire thing.
I agree. I definitely agree with that one.
That reminds me, when Wicker Boy did his tag, did he say they have to be horror box sets?
I'm pretty sure.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I thought about maybe showing Universal Monsters box set. Maybe I'll do that.
I should have bought that when it came out, dude. I really should have.
What's that?
Universal Monsters box set.
Well, here's just like you said, when you buy something, something better comes out. I bought the Universal Monsters box set, and literally the next week it came out on Blu-ray.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
I was like, really? So yeah.
I was at a secondhand store the other day and I found was it the Mummy? I think it was the Mummy, yeah, the original Universal Mummy. And I was gonna buy it, and I opened it up and I pulled the disc out to look at it. It was a DVR. Somebody had burned the movie and put it in there. And then because I noticed the cover looked weird, there was a paper cover on the disc, like a paper sticker.
Right.
And they had burned it and put it in there, and then took it to a secondhand store to sell it or whatever.
Yeah. That's why you have to check real good when you buy something from somewhere.
Yep. Yeah, tell me about it. Ain't that right, Joe?
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I still can't believe that. It still pisses me off.
As soon as I pull out the tape and I saw like the Scotch tape, you know, in that, I was like, uh-oh. I'm like, someone recorded over this.
I didn't even, and that's the thing is I didn't pull the tape all the way out to look at it.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, oh shit. I got so excited. I was like, oh, Joe wants this. I'm gonna get it for him. And
It's one of those things you hear about too that's like you just don't think would happen to you. I mean, like you hear about people finding like sex tapes taped over like old VHS, and you never think you're gonna actually find one.
right. I was thinking how that would be a great movie. Like an idea for a horror film. You know, you go and find a sex tape or you find a movie because you think it's a regular VHS.
Yeah.
And not only is it a sex tape, but there's like some dark shit on there. Like
I feel like that's
real
bad
dark shit. And then, but you find out that it's somebody you know.
There you go.
Yeah.
And so you're trying to like go through and confront, and they go all fucking psycho killer on you.
Awesome.
You know, I think that's a cool idea for a movie.
Yeah, definitely.
So
yeah, it wasn't the serpent I was expecting when I put on the
That's not my serpent in the rainbow.
This time, the one I found now to replace it, I checked. At least it doesn't have any tape over the little button. So
that's awesome.
And I love what you texted me too. Yep, pop the tape in, and there it was. Spread Eagle Housewife.
Oh man,
I was like, that's so funny. But I was mad, but I still thought it was funny.
it was like, yeah, it was like straight on, unreal.
Yeah, tell the kids not to watch Serpent in the Rainbow.
Well, you said you tossed the tape and kept the case, right?
I did. I got rid of the tape because I was like, this is all I need was my son to be like, oh, watch this.
Yeah. Now, you said he's 16, right?
He'll be 16 in July.
He's probably seen it.
Hey, Nick, what's going on, bud?
Or worse.
I wasn't going to say that, Brad. I was thinking it, but I wasn't going to say it.
Yeah, well, I'm just thinking about how I was at 16. Believe me, I had seen way worse.
Right.
Yeah, but not expecting it even caught me off guard. You know what I mean? Like I pop it in and it's like, boom.
Right.
Yeah, this is the most underrated Wes Craven movie that there is.
I don't remember this scene.
It must be the director's cut.
I could just imagine popping in Freddy or, A Nightmare on Elm Street. Wait, where's that scene?
Tina!
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
There's Nick. Hey,
Yep.
Nick.
There he is.
What up, Nick?
Nick's going to join us next time.
Well, good.
R&D well, Ron said his son is about to turn 17 and just started working.
Nice.
Very cool. Very cool.
Man, I'm from old school. If you didn't have a job by the time you were 14, you better get out of the house.
That's pretty bad.
Mm.
Yes. Hopefully you guys didn't hear that one.
I thought that was funny.
What?
Wet Dream on Elm Street.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Bantam, we're not going to start talking about porn.
How many people here have seen a Nightmare on Elm Street porn parody?
I don't know if I would want to see that.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know?
I kind of wonder what the things are on the end of his fingers, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the Edward Scissorhands parody. We all know what that went.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, not exactly my cup of tea there, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, Jason. Wait, no, that's the wrong one. That's my Boondock Saints one. Never mind.
What did I do?
I was going to show you. I found my tapestry from the last Motley Crue show. Their last tour. It's a badass tapestry.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You should see The Dirt. If you haven't watched that, you should check it out.
Well, we have the book, don't we?
Yeah, I got the book.
Oh, we have a.
Yeah, I got the book.
What book do we have? We
Probably
have an
the,
autograph book from all.
probably the Heroin Diaries.
I don't know. Oh, it's over there somewhere. You're not gonna find it.
But yeah, I really like that movie, and I love how they didn't try to be like Bohemian Rhapsody on it. Like you could tell, like Motley Crue had a lot to do with this movie because it's pretty crazy. You know.
Yeah, but it's nothing. It's nothing compared to this is Spinal Tap.
That's true.
No, you might be surprised when you see Ozzy licking urine off the pool.
No, that was a joke anyway.
No. Well, I mean, maybe, but
off the pool.
Yeah, he actually did that, and that's actually truly really happened. They talked about it in the Dirt book and in the Heroin Diaries book.
Not a good idea.
Ozzy snorted ants, then licked urine off the side of the pool, his own and Nikki Sixx's.
He snorted ants when they were in that Russia thing when they did that USA.
They were doing a tour together, yeah.
Yeah.
And the guy that plays Ozzy in the movie looks like Ozzy from the 80s. Like freaking amazingly looks like. It's so cool.
Yeah, I'll have to watch that. That's something that my wife and I will probably watch because we were metalheads.
Yeah, the wife and I watched it. We enjoyed it. But I'm a big Motley Crue fan, so it bugs me when I see these reviewers talking about it. And they're talking shit, but it's like, dude, you know nothing about the band and you're sitting here talking crap about them. Now, like Cody, I liked Cody Leach's because he did it on the basis of as a movie. He didn't do it on the basis of how well he knew Motley Crue, you know?
Yeah, we have it's the Dirt. This is the one we have.
Yeah, that's the one they based the movie off of. You got the hardcover. I got the soft cover.
Yeah, this one's autographed by all the band members.
Oh, dude, that's sick.
Yeah.
Good night, Nick.
Leave me that in your will.
There we go. Radio station contest. I think we won this one at.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good night, Nick.
Good night, Nick. Yeah, it's getting there.
Oh, happy birthday to your daughter, buddy.
I think we'll wrap up in about 10 minutes, guys. Finish it around like 12:30. We'll call it quits.
No problem, bro. Whenever you want to.
Sounds good.
And by the way,
anybody in the chat have any last-minute questions you want answered? Now's the time.
I meant to tell you guys this when we first started, and I forgot because we were waiting on Jason. Thank you guys very much for giving me time to get home from work and all. And I know it makes it a lot later on you guys, and that's really awesome of you to do that.
No, I think it worked out. I think it's a good time.
Yeah, I think so too. Gives me time to put my dog to bed and eat dinner and do all that kind of
like
fun.
I said, it like led us into Slashback Saturday over here anyway. So
right. Yeah, I appreciate you guys working out for me. So
yeah.
Yep. Very cool. Yeah, 9 o'clock. That's fine. It's a fine time.
Yeah, definitely.
I wasn't doing anything anyway. I was watching LSU and Michigan State, which I don't know who won, but
I meant to have
Michigan-
a horror movie playing while we were doing this, and I forgot.
So Phantom Banshee asks, "What is the most expensive movie we own?"
oh,
Like
geez.
actual copy of a movie, or
Yeah, I would assume so.
oh,
I mean, if we're talking about box sets, I mean that Friday the 13th box set is up there for me in the Halloween box set. But I mean, obviously that's a lot of movies, not just one.
Yeah.
I got a couple of Star Wars box sets that are worth a lot, but I didn't pay that much for them. I'm trying to think.
Well, yeah, I mean, what it's worth, not necessarily what you paid.
Yeah. Probably the Halloween box set for me.
Yeah, that one and the Friday the 13th for me is probably the most.
I don't know. That's a tough one.
I mean, then then I even have like the Dead Alive Blu-ray, which has gone for like $200 for a single Blu-ray.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have the DVD, but
Wait, did you say the Dead Alive Blu-ray goes for $200?
At one point, it was, yeah.
I was gonna say I got that Blu-ray sitting right there. I didn't pay no $200 for it.
Yeah, I know. I found it at like a movie stop for like $3 too.
You have the Dead Alive Blu-ray?
Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of which, are you guys gonna get in on that second round of Never Hikes Alone?
I'd like to, yeah.
I probably will, yeah, because I didn't
go over there Indigo.
Okay. I remember you sent me the link to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get in on it as well myself.
Yeah.
Even though I don't know if he's gonna let me buy one or not, because I got the first round.
Why wouldn't he let you buy it?
Well, I emailed him and I emailed him about because I wanted another copy, you know, because I wanted to give a copy to Bill. And he told me that they are doing a second round, but they wanted to give people that didn't get the first round a shot first.
Right.
So I don't know. But the fact that it's going to be in a blue case with different cover art and different disc art, and it doesn't have the DVD, it's just the Blu-ray.
Yours came with the DVD too?
Mine has the DVD. The new one that's coming out, the second round, is just the Blu-ray.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so yeah, just because it's different, I wanted one, you know.
Yeah, I'd like to get that because it's a good film, and I don't even know what they're charging for it, but they're not really charging for it. It's like a donation sort of thing.
Well, I paid $30 for mine, the first one, 30 something.
Really? Wow.
It was $30 something, but I'd still pay that again. So
yeah,
and that was just
a donation, right? They don't really consider that charging you money for it because
it's considered a donation, but there's prices, you know what I mean, like
right. It's a way around it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll have to pick it up. I really enjoyed that movie. Definitely. Hey, wait a minute. What's that figure up there, dude?
Which one?
The one. Let's see. I'm looking at you, so it would be on your left, up top, near. Is that Terrell Davis?
Looks like an ICP. Looks like
those are the original ICP action figures.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, those are old, man.
I see Transformers.
Yeah, I got a bunch, and I moved some stuff around, so I got room to put something on that wall. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do yet, because I'm supposed to be getting a new couch in here this weekend. I'm supposed to be getting a new couch in here.
That's right. You were saying about that. What day is that coming?
I don't know. I need to get this shit out of here so I can get it in. So sometime, probably Sunday.
Cool.
You know, man, I'm trying to think of that. I could tell you though that I spent $200 on a single CD.
You have?
Oh yeah, Some of the Insane Clown Posse CDs that are rare are really expensive.
Huh. Yeah, I pretty much refuse to spend a lot of money on anything.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. It just
I used to make a lot more money than I do now, so
yeah.
money wasn't really an issue for me until like the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Or at least not
But
since I've been married. You know?
Even to spend 25, $30 on Alone in the Dark for a DVD irks me.
Mhm.
So I won't do it. It just
Well, pretty soon
usually
you'll be able to
every
get
time
the
I
Scream
find
Factory
something-
Blu-ray.
Yeah, definitely.
That's one of the reasons I really like that Hamilton book, man. They're putting them on for good prices.
Yeah, what's up with Scream Factory raising their prices?
Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna be spending that much money for it on Blu-ray anyway.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's like
It's
they
just-
don't allow stores to sell it for any lower. You know, they set like a certain price for the stores as well.
That's ridiculous.
The guy playing Tommy Lee in the movie is MGK, the rapper.
In the dirt?
Yeah, it's MGK. I didn't know that until after I watched it. I didn't recognize him.
Huh.
Now, Phantom asks, "What is our favorite trauma movie?"
Easy. Toxic Crusader.
Toxic Avenger.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably
Depends on which
mine,
version
too.
you got.
Actually, I like the second one better than the first one, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, I like Toxic Crusader 2 better than the first one.
Yeah.
I love the Toxic Avenger. I like Class of Nukem High. That's fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
Class of Nukem High is a good one.
I love Dead Dudes in the House or the House on Tombstone Hill.
I actually don't own any traumas anymore. I had the Toxic Avenger box set,
Mhm.
and I don't know where the hell it is.
Hmm.
I can't for the life of me find it. So I don't know if it got lost in a move or what.
Oh, I know what my favorite trauma movie is. Father's Day.
Well, that's a good one.
Father's Day is a trauma movie?
Yep,
Mother's Day and Father's Day, both trauma.
I like that one too.
I've seen
And
it, but I
so-
didn't know it was a trauma. I don't have it. I didn't know that was a trauma movie.
Did you watch Graduation Day yet, Joe?
Not yet. I'm saving that one for a flashback theme.
Very cool. Yeah, that's
Surf
cool.
Nazis must die.
I've actually never seen that one.
Me either.
Nope.
Cool
Also,
title.
like,
though.
The Children's a good trauma movie.
That's a good one too. Yep.
Oh, Jason,
Yeah.
you're a big Bigfoot fan. Have you heard about the new Sam Elliott movie?
Nah.
The guy who killed Hitler and the Bigfoot? That's what the movie's actually called.
Yeah, I think Celluloid Terror did a review for it today.
That's where I just heard of it, was through Seth. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but Poltergeist.
Do you guys remember Black Sheep?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought when that movie came out, that was the dumbest fucking thing ever. I was so mad. I was younger at the time, of course, but I was so mad that they were making fun of horror movies that way. I just didn't get it, you know?
You talking about the black sheep with the sheeps that kill people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that movie. I think that movie's great.
Yeah. Now I do. I do too. But when it first came out, I was in like high school. And oh man, I just thought that was like the dumbest thing ever. I was so mad at that. Because I took my horror very seriously back then.
See, that's why I didn't like comedy. That's why I didn't like The Evil Dead 2. I didn't like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 when I first saw it.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that wasn't serious or wasn't a slasher film, I didn't really watch it. So
I wonder how many people are going to. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Jason.
No, I was done.
I wonder how many people are going to get mad at me for not putting George Romero on my favorite directors list.
I didn't either.
I'm gonna do a top 10 because I always do top 10s. I'm just gonna do like an official top 5, you know.
Yeah.
But
Well, I did a top 5 or 6, and then Hellhound said, "Well, I'm going to do my Italian director separate." I was like, "Well, damn, I didn't know that."
well, I just
So then I filmed my top 5 Italian directors,
yeah.
and I think I spent time on the honorable mentions that I did my actual top 5. But
I love zombie movies, but they're actually I think zombie movies are like my least favorite of the genres.
mine might be vampires.
I like vampire movies a lot, but I've seen a lot of different ones that I like.
Yeah.
Sean or Joe, would you consider like the Deadites to be zombies, or no?
I consider that more of like possession, like demons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Demon.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Because it's not like they're really dead. Like the like Ash when he gets possessed, he's not dead. He's just possessed by one of the demons.
Right.
But see, that's the fun thing about it is I loved Army of Darkness when I first saw it.
I love that movie.
Yeah,
That's my favorite one still. I love that movie.
My favorite's the original. That's why I didn't like
Yeah.
Evil Dead 2 that much, because the first one, that was one of the movies that actually creeped me out when I was younger.
Like I said, the Evil Dead. It's that. I don't know. It's what you think of when you think of like horror. Like that's a horror movie. Like what a group of kids going into the woods doing something that they're not supposed to be doing, and it turns into a nightmare. You know what I mean?
Right. I might watch that later. I got to work tomorrow, but I may stay up late and watch it.
This is my boomstick. Yeah, but so I was older when I saw Army of Darkness, and I didn't mind comedy in my horror. And that's like action, adventure, fantasy, horror, comedy. Yep. I mean, there's just about everything in there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, which ending do you prefer?
Well,
I prefer the one where he ends up back at the S-Mart, not the one where he's in the apocalypse.
I like the apocalypse one because I'm a downer.
Yeah, me too.
But I like things that don't end pretty with a bow on them.
And it just fits him. Like with getting it wrong, he takes too many drops.
See, I just like how badass he is at the store when the Deadite attacks him in the store.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody's like
those endings because it does. You can see it different ways. You can see it where it ties it up in a nice little bow. You can see it where it dumps him off in the apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
You know, give you other choices.
I like the Captain Supermarket cut, the whatever it is, the Korean cut, where basically it incorporates both endings. So, like after Ash takes the extra drop, he's sleeping and he dreams of being in S-Mart, and that's like what he dreams happens. And then after the S-Mart ending, he wakes up and we get that apocalypse ending. So it's pretty cool because at least you get both of them. You get the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
With Army of Darkness, I have like 4 different versions of that now.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that too. I've got like 8 versions of that movie now.
I mean, I have the normal one. I have the boomstick edition. I have the one with the paper bag across it, the bootleg.
Mm-hmm.
I have the Screwhead edition.
Mm-hmm. Do you have the Scream Factory release?
I don't.
See, now that's kind of like it's probably Scream Factory's best release overall because it has 4 different cuts of the film. And
really?
Yeah, it has everything you could want in that one set. So, because it has the theatrical cut, it has the director's cut, it has the international cut, and it has the TV cut.
Wow.
On my next Hamilton book order, I'm gonna get the pop art cover cut.
That's cool, yeah.
But yeah, I've got like because now, I've got like all 4 of the editions or the 3 main editions: the bootleg, Screwhead, and then the regular, and then the collector's edition. And the one that's in the gold case.
Yep.
I don't have that one.
And then but I've also got like all the different covers like that I'm getting now. I just found 2 new covers on VHS. The one that's like the like the regular cover. That's the most normal cover.
It's the one like him standing with her like at his feet, and then there's
Right.
the one, then the Anchor Bay one probably where it's just kind of like above his face.
Yeah, it's like the faces and all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just found those, and then I've got like that glow in the dark green and gray one from Walmart.
Walmart, yeah. Walmart.
Yeah, I mean, it's so cool. And I just picked up the Evil Dead on Blu-ray with the Steelbook.
Yep.
So I don't have near as many as you get, Joe, but I'm getting there. But I mean, I love the Evil Dead, and it's often I find that it's a franchise I overlook a lot.
Yeah.
But I never seem to overlook Army of Darkness, but I overlook the franchise. Like, I'm thinking about what franchise should I do next, and I don't think about Evil Dead. But I'm
Actually,
going
don't have Army of Darkness on Blu-ray at all.
Really?
But I have all those different DVDs.
I don't have it on Blu-ray. I have it on all the DVDs and VHS.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, the Scream Factory is the way to go. There's the Steelbook, and then there's also the regular, with the slipcover. And like I said, it has everything you want.
Does the Steelbook have all the 4 of the editions of it?
Yep, same thing. Has the same amount of discs. It's just in the Steelbook packaging.
Huh.
And so that's the thing, is I'm tempted to open up my Halloween 2 Steelbook, but I don't want to open it at the same time. Just because it has that other edition I want to watch.
Oh, the TV cut?
Yeah.
Your box set doesn't have that?
Not well. Actually, I don't. I might. I need to look.
No, he has the 10.
I got the 10 disc edition. I don't know if it's got that on there or not. I don't think
so. Not on there.
Yeah.
That was one of the extra. That's one of the extra 5 discs. Is the Halloween 2 TV cut.
Right.
Because that was a 2-disc Halloween 2.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Wow.
Yes, I consider The Evil Dead 2 a direct sequel. That's why I put it on my top 10 direct sequels list.
It's sort of like a sequel / remake, just because they lost the rights to their own movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they changed some of the scenes in the film.
Exactly.
That always bothered me. I don't know why it bothers me with that movie, but it doesn't bother me with some other ones.
When I was younger, it used to confuse me so much. It's like I couldn't grasp what was happening.
I like to think of it as a time loop. I like to think of it as he went back in time almost. Without his knowledge. Like kind of like Groundhog Day, kind of. But with different people and different events.
Yeah.
That's how I kind of look at it. Just because there is time travel in that series, it kind of makes a little sense. So.
It bothers me when things don't follow in continuity. It really used to bother me when I was younger.
Isn't that funny? That's one of the reasons I don't like TCM too.
No, I mean, I'm saying in the Friday the 13th movies where they show you what happens in the Friday the 13th before, you don't really see that in movies these days, but whenever something's different when they show it, it bothers me. I don't know why. It just does. Yeah,
it's like that's not what happened. Like they change it. It's like when Annie Wilkes has her meltdown in Misery, and she's talking about how she went to the show, and the guys went off the cliff in the car.
Right.
And she's like screaming. She's like, he didn't get out of the cock-a-doodie car. It's like it's the same thing. It's like you see one thing, and then the next movie is completely different.
Yep. Yeah. One of the I used to watch the Rocky films all the time when I was a kid. And of course, on the Rocky films, they used to do just like horror. They used to show you what happened in the movie before.
Yeah.
The end fight scene, of course.
Right.
And it would always irritate me how they would leave out certain phrases.
Yeah.
And shorten certain things in it. And I've seen it so many times that it still bothers me to this day. But
like the beginning of Halloween 5 and Halloween 4.
Yes. Yes.
My biggest problem with that is in Friday the 13th Part 2 and then 3. Like how Jason, they totally changed the ending in the beginning. Like he doesn't even come through the window.
Well, it was a dream sequence. That's how I took it.
Well, see, yeah, but I'm like, in part, so I'm like, what the hell?
I still choose to believe that Muffin is alive, and that's the way it's going to stay for me.
Right?
You know, and I don't want to bring up a sore subject for anybody, especially for you, Jason. I know a lot of people don't like, you know, animal violence or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I understand. I can understand with like movies like Cannibal Holocaust, you know,
Right.
because I guess it was real, or which I don't understand
Yeah.
unless it was before the Humane Society was around, how they got away with that. But you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But like we've talked about this a little bit before. I don't really. It doesn't really bother me when I know it's like fake, like because like in Halloween, like in the original Halloween, when he eats part of the dog, you know, I mean they don't show it happening, but they talk about it.
Right.
You know,
Or when he strangles the German Shepherd outside the window.
yeah. Or even
Breaks.
the dog. You think in Halloween 4 he got Gordon, you know, but then you think he didn't get Gordon. So
Oh, you mean Friday the 13th, Part 4?
yeah, part 4.
Yeah.
You know,
Did Gordon jump through the window?
yeah, and then he disappears, and then like,
Yeah.
does he come back at the end of the movie?
No.
No.
I don't know if he comes.
I remember.
Yeah, you don't know if he got him or not. You just like you don't know if he actually got the mom or not.
Gordon was the smartest part of the movie because he probably left while the getting was good. He was
No
the
kidding.
smart one.
Yeah. While everybody else is
Like,
like, let's go
"He's
check out
around
the
here."
sound in the basement. He's gone.
Yeah, he's killing me. He's killing me. Oh
Okay.
God.
That's
Good
still
thing,
the
Robert.
one light on that movie for me.
Oh
Oh.
yeah, that bothers me. That part always bothered me. It's like, yeah, I know he's killing you. Shut up.
Yeah, I can't see it though. Can't see what the hell's going
Shut up
on.
and die already. Yeah. All right, guys.
Well, I guess it's
I'm
time
gonna
to wrap it up.
Yeah.
It's been another great stream.
Yep.
Steve, thank you to everyone in the chat
Do it
for
again
sticking
soon.
out.
We'll definitely do it again soon. Yeah. Everybody get your slashback videos ready. Get them posted.
I'll probably
Indeed.
end up having a live stream sometime next week.
Cool.
Cool.
I haven't decided yet when or whatever, but if we want to do something,
Yeah.
Cool.
hell, I'll probably end up
Yeah,
having one or two random ones, you know.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
I'm always around.
Everybody in the chat, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Good night, everyone.
peace out, guys.